Ubisoft Discord on.
So hey everyone, we decided to start with Invil versus Peter Aboba. The first map is Himmelsdorf. We will have 3 rounds of best of 5s today. Yeah, I hope everyone will enjoy the stream. Key, can you say something just so I adjust your
Test,
volume?
1, 2, 3, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying something.
Yes. Okay, then I guess we can start immediately with the lineups. Double 50B for both sides. We have CS plus 6 Chieftains and 6 279s for the team of Invil, and Aboba coming in with 6 Chieftains, 4 279s, double CS and an E4. So I think the first E4 that we saw so far on Himmelsdorf.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
That's the thing with both of the lineups. They are very versatile. They can take hill, they can take lower side. So I think they mostly wanted to react on what the enemy was doing. It is a very, very aggressive split from Aboba, to be honest. Sending a lot of tanks into the 8 line. That's probably some sort of delayed trap. They're going to meet the 279 force for the side of Invil there. So I guess that's going to be a very interesting engagement right from the get-go that we're going to see here. Double CS also lying in wait. No one going to the hill for the side of Invil. And I think now the trap is about to be sprung. Ketsai and Lucky, they are almost committed in here. Crespix now taking a hit or two. Fire being returned onto Lucky, and it's going to be difficult here for the side of Invil to make something happen because they have so many tanks on the hill, and now the counter push is rolling. The only constraints that are being put on the side of Aboba are basically what they're putting onto themselves because they're pushing into such a narrow street, but initial damage is being found here. Invil still 2k up, Aboba with the first kill, so that's going to be a free-for-all, I think.
Yeah, interesting that Invil was so aggressive in the 8 line while sending like 5 or 6 tanks towards the hill. I mean, some tanks like Pan's Fury was pulled back immediately, but overall still the HPs are surprisingly good for Invil. I would have expected that to be so much more decisive, but Conrad and the guys in the road made a good job here holding those positions. Now the 50Bs are apparently empty because they're getting fully ignored, and Haki is the next one to be committed on. Also, Haki has only 1 tank supporting him here. You can see Silic on a 2-shot now for the double chief approaching him. And with Invil still 3k HP up and a gun, that looks pretty decent for the defending team here.
It does look pretty decent for the defending team, but they still need to be careful regardless, because in the 3-4 line there is quite a lot of Aboba tanks that are finding an engagement here. It is a 4v3 currently, and T-Shek is bearing the brunt of the damage. Keep in mind, Monsteo is only on the hill sniping. Ooh, big blow up! 279 losing its head here, and Skirpi needing to get out of there because the turret was lying on top of him. T-Shek now finally getting shot, and down and out here, but the problem is that Monsteo, yes, he's out of the fight with his HP, but he's continuously contributing DPM.
Yeah, you can see Monsteo putting another one into Shockish, and also Skirpi, like he will permanently get shot by the CS from the hill. Now finally they picked up Soka, and Mentos is separated as well. Maybe he will be able to pick up a kill. It doesn't seem like that will be the case, but the dust has settled, and Aboba with only 3k HP left, 4 tanks standing. Piotrix now trying to pick up some more. And this looks like a convincing round for Invil, even though I thought they might have caught them a bit off guard when only 4 tanks were pushing through the 8 line and this gigantic wave of purple tanks was approaching there.
Yeah, I think they sprung the trap a little too soon, to be honest. The 279s weren't completely committed in yet, and that was why they had such a hard time finishing it off. Like, the tanks from the hill had already returned, and the 279s weren't even completely dead yet. So I think if you wait like 5 to 10 more seconds for the 279s to just commit in those crucial 20-30 meters more, that is where you possibly look at winning the game instead of losing it. But obviously, like, it's super difficult to make calls like this, for example, only when you're looking at the minimap and you aren't even properly in the situation.
Yeah. So with that all happening, we have a score line of 1-0 for Invil. I would say Invil in this group, the clear favorite. We can go through the groups, I guess, during the map change after the second round of Himmelsdorf. In the meantime, you can see the results here. Our game was the first one to finish. 1-0 here for the defending team. Tens versus Tilt is 1-0 for Tilt. And Gnomi versus Scorpium is 1-0 as well. Keep in mind, not every team is playing on the same maps. So it might be that this was a defending game for Invil, which is first mentioned, but the other team might be playing on Sand River or Ensk, where the second team is the defending team.
Mm. Okay, so 1-0 here in this best of 5. Holownicy so far pulling ahead. Not really unexpected, but I think Aboba is a team that can very, very well strike back, given some openings, and another result just in Raid with the lead over CSA. So
Aboba had some starting issues, like 3 minutes before the start. I was poked, oh, this player doesn't have a special battle, and I'm checking it, and everything looks fine. And obviously, he can't tell that to me like 15 minutes before. He has to do that like 3 minutes before. And then he realizes, oh, he is on the training account. Something went wrong there. So, yeah, a lot of 5-heads here again. Looks like Invil deciding to go with a very similar lineup to what they had before. It looks like one less chieftain. I think they had 6 before. We can like sort it like this. So yeah, they had 6 chieftains before. Now it looks like they decided to go for one more 279. Still the same split of 50Bs and CS. The 50Bs, 10-10-10 here from Ryszek. Good stuff. I think Piotrix just didn't really have the time to contribute. He came back from the hill and had to support like he just picked up the last scraps there from what Mentos left him over. But yeah, we were talking about the CS on the hill, like Monster nearly 4k damage, really good stuff, and you can see all of the damage was also sniped. So
yeah, like that push in the G line that Aboba was doing, like it seems to me like Monster was continuously able to farm that with his CS.
Like 11 penetrating hits, that's quite a lot.
Okay, round number 2. Once again, we see double 50B from Invil, 1 CS and 5 Chiefs, rest is 279. For Aboba, triple 50B, no CS, positive once again, bringing 1 E4 here, and then we have 5 279s and 6 Chiefs. So
I guess the most important thing to notice is this triple 50B. That's like the standout thing. Again, the E4 obviously. Because of that, Invil with a slight HP advantage. Also, you can see using the.
Look at that 50B movement from Invil, by the way. Like, this is not where you normally send your 50Bs. Then again, there is a super aggressive opening coming out by the defending team of Aboba here. They're immediately going to find some tanks and immediately see the 50Bs, but also through the 8 line. 1279 and double 50B coming in here with the flank. They're going to be meeting the 50Bs of Invil that are also in a very interesting position. Yosi, I don't even know what the hell he's doing in his 50B because he's not going to be able to clip Mentos. And Fly is also getting focused down to a one-shot here, down and out of the game. This is, again, super weird openings for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, Jose now clipped out on Mentos, but as you mentioned, like 4 shots is not enough to kill the kill as a 50B, a full HP chieftain. Jose now trying to run away, and I would really like them to finish off the 50B before the second clip gets reloaded. That's exactly what they do, and you can see Aboba already dropped 3 tanks to 0, and the HP advantage is on the side of the team in the white jerseys. Shokush now gets double-tracked, but it looks like he was able to still return behind cover. And after this initial aggression, Invil coming out on top.
Invil once again holding strong against this aggression, yes. And now Shockish and Flabber, they need to be careful that they don't really take any more hits here behind that pile of rubble. But there's 279, and they have to rely on RNG to penetrate that. As I'm saying that, look at Conrad's position. He's continuously able to, I think, farm freedom in his chieftain. So really, Aboba, realistically, they need to do something because they are taking more damage right now in those entrenched stationary kind of battles. Even 2 hits into the chieftain cupolas in the windows as we speak. And now Pan's Fury being sent on towards the hill that is already under Invil control because Monster is up there. There is 150B being rotated, but the problem will be that, well, 150B cannot one-clip 1 CS, and there is a chieftain coming, and possibly a 50B as well.
But look at this trades. Like, we started this off with a 2k HP advantage for Invil, and now we are already at 5k. So the individual trades are really going well, and you can see Lucky there put in another one and pulled back the chieftain. Like, Pixlet had to leave, now dropped to roughly 1700 HP. And the next kill is being picked up. That's 5 guns dropped on the side of Aboba, and Monster.io is having really good control there over the entrance of the hill. They don't really have a chance of retaking it at all. He even put some cross shots. I mean, now he takes probably 2 shots from the 50B and the fire. So that's not so good for him. Obviously, he was on the retreat and exposing his engine there, but still on a 3 shot. So the 50B with only 2 shots left would never be able to clip out onto him. Pan's Fury should be able to approach this very carefully and then just punish the first crossing there, so get a shot for free. Still, with Monster dropping that low, they really need to figure out how to win this 2v2 where they have like 1000 HP disadvantage from the start.
Well, the thing is...
that's not necessarily what you want to do, Pan's Fury.
Oh, Pan's Fury, he might get caught here by Hakia taking 1. Monster even bouncing his shot onto Pixel, and Pixel will just keep pushing to try and take the shots here until the 50B is there, and then that guy can come in and clip out. Hakia taking both shots from Pan's Fury and Monster, but he will just drive in and try to finish Pan's Fury off as he does, and now Monster in an unwinnable 1v2 because Hakir, I think, maybe has one more shot.
No, he's empty.
But yeah, Hakir will try to run now, try and stay alive, as he's a possible one-shot here for Monster. Monster taking the one safe shot into Pixel, and that is the hill control. Once again, changing. It's going to be Aboba, who are now having firm control of the hill, but meanwhile, Invil, obviously, they knew that they were going to lose the hill, so now we see some kind of aggression in the 8 line, where Crespix is in a very dire spot, immediately goes down, and Judge also taking punishment for peeking here. This is a lot of Invil tanks, and not a lot of Aboba to hold them.
You can see Alsace there, good timing. He knew that Pussyquell had shot already, so he was able to cross safely with his 279. He lets Lucky, being still on 1000 HP, go first. Now they know Judge has fired. Alsace can fully aim his shot, hopefully penetrate the cupola exactly as he does. And even though it was a
Killer is asking if he can restream
start, sure, let him do that. It was a good start from Aboba, like aggressive movement, taking some control. It was just well received, and like the reactions from Invil were just superior. Also, as you mentioned, the coordination with the 50B was a bit lackluster. Like, they drove in first there. Jose was, like, I don't know, lost on the way. Ended up...
Almost seemed like he had a timeout, but he kept shooting, so I don't fucking know what he was doing.
Yeah. So, as you can see, only 2 tanks left on the hill. Rishik arrived there, should be able to pick up both of them. First one was taken, and there's not really any need for Pixel to run away from Rishik now. I mean,
you know what also was taken?
Over.
Local. Alright, so firm 2-0 here by the side of Invil, finishing with, what the hell? With 9 tanks still standing and 7.4k HP up. So, yeah, very, very good reactions on Himmelsdorf to very, very weird openings by either team, you actually have to say. And also, to be honest, while, like, after the initial aggression had worn off, it felt like Invil were just out-trading Aboba on an individual level.
Yeah, and let's ready up the spectator tanks again before we take a look at What happened? So yeah, I mean, Jose was able to deal a decent chunk of damage. Did he ram Mentas?
Yes, he did ram him.
Yeah, so that's why that's like 300 damage on top of the usual 1600 damage clip. But also like File, only one clip of damage. I mean, Haki, he was the one that basically was in the second line and was able to pull back into his tanks. But yeah, just not enough from the Chieftains. He had 2 penetrating hits from the E4. I guess you also want that tank to deal a bit more damage. And then overall, like the Chieftains and 279s that just got out-traded in the courtyard, in the hull down positions. And good stuff coming here from Invil. I'm really satisfied with what they're providing us with. And Prokhorovka being their first defensive round, we might even see a 3-0 immediately.
1.5 more minutes until we go into the second map of the match, which is Prokhorovka. Invil, that team has shown some extremely aggressive openings, both on defense and on offense. So I am very, very excited what we're going to see, considering we already see the double EBR, a lot of 907s, 1 Chieftain yet, and 4 279s being picked. So
and maybe we can take the time to go over the results of the other games. So Goodnight Nomi leading 2-0 over Copium. CSA evened out the fight against Raid 1-1 there. Tense versus Tilt is 2-0 in favor of Tilt. And yeah, as we mentioned, Invil 1-2-0. I guess we can take this minute to go over the groups pretty quickly. Let me change the scene. That should be it. So yeah, Group 1 is Gnomi, Copium, CSA, and Raid. Raid obviously invited, CSA and Gnomi coming through the second qualifier, while Copium immediately made it through the first. In the second round, they're just all sorted randomly, so there's obviously no points distributed yet. Invil Holovnici invited team Pior and Aboba and Tens making it through qualifier 1, and Tilt Bunticore coming through quali 2. And I think the game is ready. We can start off here our first round, and hopefully not last round, of Prokhorovka.
I mean, depends on who you're rooting for, right?
Well, I mean, I'm always rooting for content, so...
Oof.
I mean, I'm happy to see a full 5-game tiebreaker here.
I have a... Hopefully that bug fixes itself now. Okay, it did. Nice. Alright, anyway, lineup-wise. Pretty similar regarding...
Double EBR and 1 STRV CS. A couple of 907s. I think the most important thing to notice is actually this 5 279s. Kind of unusual to see that for...
Well, to be honest, look at that opening by Oboba. Like,
it
they
looks
just
like
don't give
just
a shit.
a swarm.
They just don't give a shit. Are they gonna immediately overpush? That would be hardcore crazy. They're just immediately going for it. I mean, quadruple 907, there's actually a 5th one, a 6th one even coming. And Ketsai, he's bleeding heavily, but the same can be said for Yosi here, actually, who's down to a one-shot already because there's so many Invil guns shooting at them. Ketsai, the first one to go down, however. And now finally the heavy tanks. Bayer Boba also starting to punish from the middle. The first one of the mediums has gone down here, but this is almost an Invil-esque strategy by Boba, who are just booking it down.
Yeah, Invil here with only 14 players, as you can see the EBR in the back, apparently disconnected, but so far the crossfire is going pretty decently. Most important is now how many shots can the Chieftains from the back and the STRV provide onto the tanks in the middle. You can see all those 907s drop pretty low already, but the guns have not picked up yet, so Flyel is still on the run, Judge burning, and after the initial aggression here, I would say this is still in Invil's favor. They have like 3k up, now 4k up, even nearly 5k, now 5k HP up, and the repush is being prepared. Mentas apparently has reconnected now. And Rishek, together with Piotrix and Rexa, are preparing to control this complete eastern side of the map. Crespix is spotted on his rotation. Same can be said about Hakir. Drazer was picked up in the meantime. Hakir, can he make it behind the rock there? I'm not sure. If he gets tracked again, that might be a big issue. But yeah, the push is rolling. There's 6k HP advantage for the side of Invil. A lot of map control as well.
Look at the E2-3 position. They're being crossfired by the middle. It's just the superior amount of guns and DPM that's just being employed in the ditch here, where 2 heavy tanks from Aboba are just being completely overpushed. Let's be real here, even Monsteo with his EBR in the fight, he's gonna probably finish off Flabber soon. And as Sokar and Old Skamer, well, actually drop down to a one-shot in the case of Old Scammer, I guess, going to the garage. This is going to be a clean 3-0 for the side of Invil that looked stunned for about 30 seconds and then just brutally retaliated.
Yeah, I mean, really props to Invil for that good reaction and also their ability to focus out all this moving 279s on the ridge line, and obviously this swarm of 907s that pushed in immediately. Crespix is the last one to stand, but he won't stand for long. Mentos should be able to pick up the last kill. Tsek takes it away, and Invil with a very convincing game.
Yep, that was a demonstration, even, one could say. That was crazy stuff from Invil. Like, also crazy stuff from Aboba. Crazy in the sense of, like, how aggressive do you want to be? Yes. But Invil able to cope with that, able to hold on, hold strong, and get those Ws, getting those Ws on the board. Let's take a look if there is any
talking
games.
about the Ws, like, look at Tilt versus Tense, 3-0 there as well. I would say that's kind of unexpected.
Well, maybe Bunta has one of his genius days today.
So there is a 2-0 scoreline between Gnomi and Copium. If I see that correctly, we are in Ensk defense for Copium as of right now. So maybe we will be able to jump into that game, or alternatively Raid versus CSA is running as well. So the current scoreline there is...
Okay, so Goodnight Mini against Copium 3-0.
Okay, that means we will be jumping into the
Raid against CSA.
CSA versus Raid game at some point.
CSA currently doing a Live Oaks defense.
Yeah, I think actually the defense on Live Oaks is a bit harder than the attack as of right now. We saw a lot of interesting approaches by different teams. But yeah, we'll have to see what the first round of Live Oaks will be, and if the second one will be match point for the defender or match point for the attacker.
So I guess we head to a short break because we don't really have any clue as to how long this battle will take, and we'll be back as soon as round number 4 in between both of those teams will be played.
Exactly. Okay, so CSA won their defending round on Live Oaks. We are now at a scoreline of 1-2. So Raid has to convert their attack. 3 seconds on the clock. Key is busy with some other stuff and will join back later. So for now, it's only me and you guys.
Good. I guess I will cast from your feed.
Yeah,
All right.
so Raid on the defense now with a double 279, double EBR, and a couple of chieftains. CSA decided for a similar lineup, still bringing 1907 instead of the second 279, together with a double EBR again. So Saka told me that he prefers attacking on the map after the changes, as he feels like reaching the city is a bit better when you start from the south. One EBR is immediately being sent towards the 2-3 line, while Cosmo will see what he can find on the water side here in the area around the peninsula.
Interestingly enough, both teams choosing to do some kind of tactical splits. Good shot here by Panuka into the EBR of Cosmo. And that is not something we saw from Raid so far. What we saw in the games against Triggs in the qualifier, I think... yeah, it wasn't Raid playing, but basically so far we saw teams basically full committing one side. That is not the case here in between CSA and Raid. Both of those choosing to fan out, basically take map control over their side, and obviously Raid reshuffling their tanks now towards the 0 line are going to be taking a more defensive approach. It's going to be interesting to see how it pans out in the southeast, though, as that is basically the only place on the map where the teams are actually making contact.
Yeah, so as of right now, there were a lot of Raid tanks towards this sniper position on C6, but you can see all those vehicles are now being pulled towards the 9-0 line, and if they catch CSA off guard there, and so far this rotation is not spotted at all, that might be an issue for the Czech team here.
Because Froley taking shots here. He's spotted in that ditch with the 907. He'll have to drive forward, taking another hit here, down to 14. Actually, another one. Basically just like the meme, another. He will arrive there with just shy of, I was going to say 1k HP, but now he's down to 549. This is not what you like to see if you're CSA currently.
Yeah, and you can see Aladdin is over-peaking there. He managed to put in another shot into CSA, and yeah, that's the kill, and that's the first pickup by the EBR. Ali talks Ricochet. Everyone is now over-peaking onto Will, and the reaction from CSA is just not existent. They will pick up Hacker as well. Maybe Hannes can get tagged there, but Hannes survives on full HP, now trying to get behind his chieftain line, and I don't think they will stop at this point. Like, they will just collapse onto Trundolf and Golder. Saka will try to put in some shots, but I think this game was very convincing here, and this move was just deciding the game from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Just Raid seeing the opening, taking it 6k HP up, not a single tank dropped, while 5 are missing already from the CSA lineup. Sakalito just basically staring into, like, I don't know, 10 chieftain guns is what it maybe feels like to him. And the thing is, Raid is defending. They do not need to keep pressing the issue here. Instead, they can refocus on securing North, where CSA are starting to make advances. But with the ample amount of tanks on the Raid side, 15 still alive and not a single one-shot yet on the team. This is looking very, very good for Raid.
Yeah, I have to really say, like, this is a bit of a disappointment for CSA here. They started strong in their own defense, but now, I mean, we are like 3 minutes in the game and it's basically decided already. You have to push into 10k additional HP now. You're down 5k. Oh, Lucan, that could have been done a bit cleaner there. Turns his turret already and gets...
I guess he is unlucky.
He gets a shot into his side turret.
I guess I will already start preparing a poll for the next game, by the way, because I think this one is pretty much decided, even though Panuka is taking an unnecessary shot or two now here, even starts to burn. Cosmo getting the ignite onto the EBR, and yeah, it's going to be Lubor to pick up Panuka. Honestly, that move was uncalled for. Yes, he did provide a spotting screen for Hannes, who's now sitting passively in a bush, but to be honest, I don't think that was entirely necessary. Seago now getting sent up in his EBR now. He wants to get some kind of spots here out, but a nice shot by, I think, Jakifa, making him reconsider his life choices here, just running for the hills at the moment. And Hannes with the EBR and the pickup here is going to secure the kill, and that is just one more option gone for the side of CSA that only have Cosmo remaining in the EBR on a one-shot that needs to be extra careful as well.
Yeah, I mean, Hannes here has now a lot of freedom. He is the only EBR for the team of Raid, but he has so many tanks that can help him. And he knows, obviously, that Cosmo is only sitting on 326. That's an easy one-shot, very reliable. With APCR, you have 390 alpha, so even if you're lower, that shouldn't be any issue. And as you mentioned before, where you can see that Raid now has pulled back some of their tanks here towards the upper area, because they just have so much more guns in the game that it doesn't really matter anymore. So Saka knows, okay, Link is still there, but does he know that there are 6, 7, 8 or 10 tanks? You can see Itox and Attila trying to sneak around the outside. Manfred picked up Habfracker Libor, and yeah, you can see this gigantic wave here of yellow tanks overwhelming. I'm not even sure if Sakalito was still there, and that's.
How long do I set the poll? 5 or 10 minutes?
I mean, we will have a tiebreaker game.
Yeah. Okay, so I do 10 minutes, and
Yeah, I guess.
people can vote already.
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, CSA won't be able to take this victory here, so this is going to be the only match that's not 3-0 and not going, and that is going to a tiebreaker. Excuse me. So I guess content established, content delivered, as there is this one last pocket of resistance in the north that apparently Phil is not really caring about right now, as he's just, you know,
There you go.
tapped somewhere else. There we are. Production quality doing a jump right there, a gigantic leap. A small click for the Felix, but a giant leap for observing kind.
Exactly.
I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I was so focused on the cap circle that is running, 24 seconds left. Very intense capping moments there, collecting those efficiency
And the team of
points.
tents isn't even playing. Intense, you know.
I think you should also just crawl into your tent and be quiet. Okay, so
all right, so I guess we're gonna have a no all kill cap situation here, as combat is gonna get rammed by Manfred, and Raid is gonna lock in at the tiebreaker here. That is on which map? Question. I guess we're gonna find out in a minute.
Central or Ensk, I think.
Let me just take a look at the tournament.
It should.
Ensk.
It should be Ensk, yeah.
Ensk, historically a map on which Raid has performed very, very well on. They even managed to secure Golden Fists with a 15 Chieftain strategy on there in one of the past tournaments. First of all, let's take a look at the damage dealt. And we are gonna see good damage across the board for Raid. Same cannot be said for CSA, Froley and Kurmelets, even without damage to their name. Seago only one shot here. And you can see what an aggressive EBR player can achieve, right? Like almost 3k damage, 2 kills. Hannes doing very, very well this game.
I mean, Hannes also likes to get his attention, so I guess he deserves it this time. 2 kills and 5k combined on his EBR. Not sure if that is enough to get the mark up, but I guess for this game, very, Good performance here. Top on experience. Amazing performance.
Alright, as the poll is getting rigged by Marty viewers, I guess we're gonna head to a very quick break until the tiebreaker here is open.
Okay.
Well, hello and welcome back to the decider in between Raid and CSA. It's going to happen on Ensk. These sides, as with the previous Live Oaks and the Sand River that both of those teams played before that, are going to be reversed. So North is going to be attacking, South is going to be defending, if memory serves me correct. And yeah, obviously, as we are in the tiebreaker, both of those teams are sitting on 1 point already. They're just fighting to get the second one for winning tiebreaker. And let's take a quick look at the CSA lineup here. We do have WE4, WE3, Triple, Chieftain, and the rest is 279s.
Yeah, I would say with Raid being the invited team, we can already say good job to CSA in securing at least 1 point against the supposedly first seeded team of that group. I mean, you saw what Invil did to Aboba, and Aboba was a team qualifying in the first qualifier. So CSA with a good performance out of a second qualifier team, I think the other teams really need to take care that CSA is not just securing the second place here already.
2 more minutes here. I guess we can take a quick look at the groups as well and what this means here for all of our teams. So yeah, in Group 1 we do have the two teams that... Are you in Group 1 right now? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. 1 second. I need to press F5. So you can see Goodnight Mini with a nice 3-0 over Copium. CSA and Raid are obviously going to overtake Copium because they are going to take a point. They're just, fighting right now who will be second currently and who will be third. Meanwhile, in Group 2, we have two teams that are sitting on 3 points after clean sweeps that are Telt Banticore and Indil Holovnitsi. And then we have the two teams that got utterly smashed, I guess, by that is Pure Aboba against Inbil and Tense, who took the L against Tilt here. So I guess in the coming round here, Inbil and Tilt are going to decide probably already who's going to be head of the group moving forward, and Pure Aboba and Tense are going to fight for, well, those lower spots basically. Both of them obviously want to avoid being knocked out here in the groups. At the very least, they want to start in the lower bracket next weekend. So yeah, that's the current situation we're at. First of all, we are gonna watch the Raid CSA tiebreaker, though. That is about to start in like 15 seconds or so, production is telling me right now. And yeah, hopefully we're in for a good game here. If it is a fast one, we can even switch to the round 2 from Group 2 already.
Didn't they vote for a game of Group 1?
Yeah, they voted for CSA because, big rigging going on. We need to report Marty.
Okay, so CSA picked the defending side and are now sitting on exactly that side with double E3, double E4 as we mentioned, triple Chieftain and 8 279s. Raid again with majority of Chieftains, 8 to be correct, triple E3 and 4 279s. Yeah, let's see how the teams spawned. That's obviously some important thing as well. You can see the E3s from Raid 1 Hannes here pretty central. Smiley and White Rock having to drive a bit.
Both of those teams actually looking to go directly on towards the green here. Lubor and Sakalito, both of them are pushing very, very deep to get those spots here. So far, not a lot of punishment. Lukin, the only one to have taken a shot of damage so far, but I expect that to change very, very soon. And immediately the zero line getting taken here by the tanks of Raid that are sort of defensively, first of all, posturing because they don't know how much is coming, or perhaps they have all the info, actually. That is why they're this defensive on the zero line, because that is a big chunk of 279s that just got sent towards the 7 line. And this is, I guess, why Panuka, Ricochet, and the 279 in the city are trying to make advances to possibly find out how many tanks CSA has left in the city. Well, as observers, we obviously do know that is a very round number of tanks from CSA in the city.
Yeah, and Ricochet, Albert, they will now carefully advance step by step. You can see those tanks advancing here to the 2 line. They usually will get this info from, so checking if there's no trap here in K1 or tanks hiding behind those bigger buildings. Some initial trades have lead.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Andra
would say
taking the second shot.
oh.
Oh, a third one, even Andra. What are you doing, my dude? What are you doing? Let's take a look at his cupola. Was it that one being hit? Oh, yeah. That is like 3 hits into his cupola. He's going to be unhappy with RNGesus.
Okay, so more trading there happening, but I feel like it's only one team losing HP.
Well, it's not really trades if it's
I mean, now
donations. Finally, one
has
shot back
returned
onto
a
Link.
shot onto Link. So, good stuff there from him. And yeah, I think Panuka just looked too deep into the gun of one of the E3s there. The big
I think
black
Froley
hole,
was the one to
bring joy to him.
The thing is, as soon as you destroy the train carts, right, you can spot through them. That is something which a lot of people don't know, which is very important, however, to just get that information gain going. And now Raid sort of, well, I guess Panuka told them that they don't really want to peak in the south. So that is why Ricochet is, I guess, being rotated through the north again. Now Albert is going to try his luck, but to be honest, 279 against E3, that E3 is going to have a fun time.
Oh, I mean, we can take a look at the perspective of Albert and see what he is doing here. You can see he is using this a little bit elevated area to angle up and keep the E3 and E4 spotted. Looks like there was a track shot only coming through.
Another track shot.
I think those were HE shells.
Yes, those were HE shells by, I think, Golder and Seago in the E4 and the 279 respectively. Since the changed HE mechanics, obviously that doesn't damage the 279 if the shell doesn't manage to actually impact the main armor of the tank, which it seems like it has not. So all that does is basically, well, keep him immobilized for a second, but as he has improved config, that means his tracks will basically restore to full HP once they repair.
Okay, we can see that Raid has decided to leave one vehicle at H1. That's the Chieftain in the back. Panuka trying to put some shots into the frontal 279 and E3. I don't think that will bring him a lot of success. Combat lost his turret ring now.
The thing is, like, 4.5 minutes have passed already. I think Raid needs to do more in like the next minute or two to get the HP advantage
there's
to
a lot
actually
of movement
push.
coming now. So Attila moving forward, Jackefa moving forward together with Manfred and Timmy. So it looks like the 279s have decided that there's not enough protection for this side of the flank, and you can see Trandolf, Uran, everyone has to turn their turrets now, relocate towards that side.
That is a lot of damage towards the zero line, though, as Lucker and Flirteman and Golder are all peaking. Destroyer now the one to lead the charge here. He's still full HP. Lukin now down to 2-shot, needs to be very, very careful. And also in the 7 line, it's just battles erupting everywhere. The angles so far seem to be working in favor of CSA, who have made up a bit of the HP disadvantage, but Lukin, the first one to fall. Ondran attacking shots is down to a 1-shot, and his Chieftain actually does get reduced to utter trash and rubble as Destroyer puts in another one, the only one remaining on the zero line here. Now Combat, who's down to a 2-shot himself as Destroyer takes another one. And right now CSA still trailing, but only barely in the HP department. It's all going to be about who's going to be making the next kills.
Yeah, you can see Raid has established now a bit of an HP lead over CSA, who are still in the lower positions, but that was a very important pickup onto Destroyer. I don't think anyone will be able to just go forward there. Old Kings, Ali, and Itox are hiding behind the ridge line. So if they really want to advance, they should go with 3 people at the same time. But that means that there's not really enough pressure anymore onto Combat, and Combat might have the higher ground to pull down Manfred, Jackefa, and Attila's pants if they want to advance onto Uranosaurus there.
Yeah, I think, Ali here getting dropped by Lucker. I think what we need to see here by the side of Raid is that they basically get those 2v3s that are currently not really doing anything. Smiley and Hannes, they need to get those two into the fight. Smiley could even go forward and one-shot Kaperfucker here, but obviously he doesn't know that yet. He's just pre-aiming that particular, I guess that's the fourth rail, and Smiley now getting reshuffled. He's going to be making his way through the 7 line. Time is ticking here. 3 minutes, 15 seconds only remaining as finally the 279 push does get called here. Artiquel, the first one to bite the dust here, as Uran so far is holding strong, even able to pick up Manfred, and it's starting to fall to pieces here for the side of Raid that need to make some kills happen now.
Very important shot by Jekifar now, finally removing the crossfire, but Radim is still full HP. He can put the hurt onto Jekifar, and with Uran and Kremlats having the rear of the tank, Jekifar has to be really careful there. But the crossfire from Panuka and Albert seems to work for now. CSA dropped a couple of guns recently, and they really need to make those remaining HPs count.
Yeah, indeed. You can hear the big boom of the E-tanks just eating away at the enemy's HP once they start firing. That was a lot of kills being done by the TDs here, and Radim not doing the best of trades here, peeking into 2, taking 2 shots, only giving 1 in return. And this one seems to be going down to the wire as yeah, basically, Raid, they need to find a way to get those tanks on zero line closer into the fight. They need to find a way to bring those HP towards the fray. And currently, they don't seem to be able to do that. Just as I say that, Smiley with a very, very important kill here onto Radim, but now obviously is on reload. This is why Lubor and Kurmelets both are starting to drive towards him. Oh, Lubor with a crucial non-pen here. Smiley gets another shot off, gets another kill. Hosmo doesn't even get the shot in towards Smiley, pays dearly in return. And I think Raid is starting to pull ahead with this one.
Yeah, I think the individual trades were just better on the side of Raid. Right now you can see CSA sitting on only 5 tanks, and Raid is closing in the HP also in favor of the team in yellow, and it looks like finally they broke CSA's defense here. Sakalito is still on full HP, but with the E3 and 2 tanks behind him, I don't think that they can survive another 80 seconds.
Exactly. Golda trying to put in one more. Actually does get the fire on towards Itox, but little is it going to help as Sakalito probably just did his second or last shot of the game. Hannes now turning around. The question remaining, does he have HE loaded? He's probably using Intuition right now, and no, just APCR 740. That's a bit of a letdown by Hannes here. But yeah, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, as still 7 tanks available here for the side of Raid that are going to finish this one off here and are going to secure their win and place 2 for now in the groups. But CSA really made them work for it.
Yeah, and CSA now sitting on 1 point above Copium. I think their game against Goodnight Nomi will be very decisive for their position either in the upper or in the lower bracket, because if Gnomi secures this 6 points, then they're in a very stable spot to potentially even contest for first place.
So, Pure Aboba versus Tens and Inbil Holovnitsi against Tilt Dantikor underway. Tens taking the first victory over Aboba here as we speak. So do we want to maybe jump into one of those games and then jump back to CSA?
Yeah, we can watch at least one game of that.
All right, so let's do that. Oh, and also I need to make a prediction. Who are CSA gonna play now?
Goodnight Nomi.
By the way, when are you going to apply for CA, Phil? Your follower numbers warrant it, and also, you get really good viewership.
Like my Twitch money is ensuring me such a nice place in heaven that I don't even need to get the free
Twitch
goodies.
millions.
Yeah, my Twitch millions because of all my amazing viewers.
Wow.
And
All right, so it's going to be round number 2 in between Tens and Pure Aboba. Tens are going to be defending on Fisherman's Bay. That's why we see this large amount of Chieftains together with 1 EBR and 5 Chieftains, yeah, and 9 279s is what I wanted to say. I mean, unsurprising to say the least that there's a lot of 279s. Did we see Tens on Fisher already in the qualies?
we for sure saw a Boba on Fisherman's Bay, I think.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they looked too good, right? Against Tilt, that was... Yeah, they got 2-0... Well, actually 3-0'd, but 2-0'd on Fisherman's Bay by Tilt.
I think you mix up them with the Barbarian
Copium,
team
I
right
mean.
now.
Oh, well, yeah, true. I'm highly clueless. Thank you for making me aware.
Okay. I will quickly grab a water. I will be back in like 20 seconds. So enjoy the countdown and be right back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so everyone in about 20 seconds write that you can't hear me, so Phil gets annoyed.
See, exactly 20 seconds.
All right, countdown going. 3 seconds. Let's go.
Okay, so we have an E3 on the side of Aboba. Aboba obviously down 3-0 in the first round against Invil already, so they really have to...
Tournament survival on the line here for them, really.
Really
I mean,
have to
they at
bring
least want to
something.
get 1 point from this, ideally 2 or 3. But yeah, Tens so far the undefeated in this group stage, actually,
No,
going
they
4-0.
They lost 3-0 against...
Man, I'm mixing so much stuff up right
Yeah,
now.
so both of the teams
Oh,
lost
both of the
3-0 in their first round, so this is a really important match for both of them.
It is the match of the people losers then.
Yep, exactly. So as you really don't like to hear it, it's a 6-point game.
Oh, that expression. I hate it.
Yeah, and yeah,
Okay,
Tens-
Alexandros and Positive trading it out here. Both of them not able to get a shot off here.
I think
Positive
Alexandros
actually,
didn't fire and Positive just fired into the dirt. So
yeah, and Positive actually taking a shot from one of the, I guess it was the 279 going towards the city. So good stuff here by, let's call him out, Wyron the Hillgod.
okay, so Alexandros trying to get a shot into the side of the 279, but obviously with APCR on the EBR, that's a very difficult shot to penetrate.
It is a very copious shot to take.
And yeah, you can see there are some angles here from the Chieftains. Katya trying to provide some side shots there, but the big brawl is usually going to happen around this middle area here. Jaggy taking one shot.
Hakia going in immediately. This looks like some very aggressive stuff for the side of Aboba here. And also, I'm very intrigued as to what position exactly the E3 is going to take. They will probably take it for a reason. That being said, Umut Yarak here down to 1900 as he just did take 2 shots into probably his turret side or something. So the more aggressive moves coming out from Aboba, but Tens really holding on, holding strong, inflicting a lot of damage. Now that E3 pushes forward, but no... Like, I expected some super ingenious position, but...
No, I think the main reason for it is just that you expect a lot of 279s and the E3 has enough penetration to deal with those 279s. So you saw Feppy just took a big shot from the E3, and now the E3 should actually get punished by the triple chieftain in the back. Okay, one shot, 2 shots.
Taking also 1 by the 279. Wyron once again finding an angle here. So I guess Pixel, yeah, he's trading well against the 279s below him, but there is a lot of other tanks aiming at him.
That's exactly what I thought. Rerolls Fluffy and the third chieftain next to him that arrived just now put the hurt, as you mentioned, onto him. And this was actually a good HE connection now on 200, on less than 440 damage, so potential chieftain one shot. And the HPs are pretty much still in this 2K, 2.5K, 3K distance. Now a bit better as Judge just took another shot. But important to mention is what is happening on the one line here as Yes was moved forward. But yeah, they just found this stalemate there of everyone looking at each other. The 279s there holding their strong positions, the upper ground for Zenfcon even. So I would say Aboba with an aggressive start, but they haven't really moved a lot further since then.
Yeah, the thing is, Aboba, like, they took some initial positions and it looked like they had some underlying plan. But to be honest, in the end, more than, like, apart from, hey, let's take some aggressive positions and then trade away the health of our E3, we haven't seen anything yet, really.
So, I mean, the aggression that was brought versus Invel as well, but didn't really succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see this very small purple stripe there whenever there is an HE connection onto Haki or any of the other 279s losing like 40, 50 HP. But it looks like now we have pretty much the same 3k HP difference. And yeah, in the south of the map, we see 2 chieftains now being potentially pulled towards the side of the city. In the meantime, a 3rd chieftain and potentially some of the 279s will join them as well. Taking a look at the time, they have used 4.5 minutes for now, and I think it was Sam playing. No, he played a bush even a bit further there. But I like what Alexandros is doing. He is pre-aimed there to spot an initial push. So production obviously saw that immediately.
He's also using a different bush from some other EBR that we saw, I think, in the first group
that
qualifier
was
stage.
Sam that was using the bush here in front of him. And I actually prefer the one that Alexandros is taking because
it's not as obvious.
It's, first of all, not as obvious, and second, he has so much more cover there. You can just pull back behind the rubble, pull back behind one of the buildings, and if you get spotted like Sam in this bush here, then you really have to hope that nobody is punishing you on the way.
All right.
So
Abobo now with a push here, coming in with what is 6 chieftains, so over a third of their team committed to this one here, and they are gonna be. Did Alexandros not see them?
He did.
He did. Okay, so a few shots taken on the cross by Flubber and Freedom, respectively, and that is a lot of chieftains on 279s by 10s that are actually being ready to immediately blow up Freedom, the Sensei. My goodness, that was an 1800 connection into him, and that's gonna stop the push right in its tracks.
Yeah, talking about stopping the push, the second push is not being stopped, and rerolls Leech Bear and Fluffy Lions are going to make short work of Flyle here. Shocker should be the next one to fall. 3 shots needed here onto that chieftain. 2 more shots, 850 HP left. The last shot low rolled, but still rerolls picks up the kill, and in the meantime you can see Crespix was trying to fall back together with Silix, but Katya, Viren and Leech Bear are still chasing there, and while they picked up one of the 279s in the middle, I don't even think they can win the middle here.
Yeah, they are trying to, but obviously there's snipers in the back from Senfcorn and stuff that are just making it really, really costly to overpush that middle position here. Farin and Leon holding on currently, Baron and Fappy as well, but like they are going to brute force it here, Aboba. They are trying to just get rid of those 279s before the Chiefs from the city come, but more and more of them start falling because they just have to expose their sides, the vulnerable sides to the enemies, and as, more and more Aboba tanks just down and out of the game here, we have to also take a look at HP. Commanding lead for 10s, so I guess as soon as their chieftains return from that little venture in the city, it's all going to be over, or maybe even before that, because I guess, oh my god, what are those names? Antje? And together with Smee and Fluffy are going to make short work here of that 279. The CS finally getting picked up by the sniping 279. So 2-0 here. For the side of 10s, but we're not going to follow up with this one because we're actually going to go into a match in between CSA and Goodnight Nomi.
Yeah, CSA securing only 1 point in the first round. Gnomi sitting on comfortable 3 already. We will have to see how the other games we're going. Okay, it looks like Inver, non-surprisingly, won their first game against Tilt Banticore. Let's see here our post-game stats. And as you guys asked for, we will join CSA versus Gnomi. There is the second point for Invel, immediately charging towards this 2-0 scoreline. Do you want blue against white or blue against red?
Blue against red. OG colors.
Okay. I think I can also put some sound. I know you people like the sound of like...
Beach Bear is asking if attack def is changed for them.
I clarified it with Katja.
Okay, so 2 minutes until this match starts here. It's obviously going to be on Prokhorovka, as you all can see. CSA going to be defending first. And we are once again... Oh, we are in the Goodnight Nomi team. So I guess we're seeing an attacking lineup here. STV, not too unusual on the attacking side, actually. A few 907s, double EBR, 1 CS currently, double Chieftain 1279. So nothing too much out of the ordinary. I'm missing, for my personal taste, another heavy tank or two, to be honest.
I wrote Katja, so it should be all clarified.
Okay.
Yeah, someone was mentioning that Baron only did 1k damage in the first 3 rounds, so now he did 5k, I guess.
Making up for it.
He was just warming up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 30 seconds. Looks like they have finalized their lineup. Okay. CSA defending with the Badger, bringing triple 279, 4 Chieftains, 5 907s, and a double EBR. The STRV, as we mentioned, triple 279 for Goodnight Nomi, 6 907s, and a CS.
Mm-hmm. The Badger coming out for CSA. I
think
wonder
they
whether
played that like twice already.
Mm-hmm. And I think both times they got wrecked, no?
I think so, yeah. I mean, third time is the charm.
Okay.
So Seago spotting out in the middle here. You can see he took a shot immediately. Not the end of the world, but usually you try to keep your HP as high as possible in the EBR.
Very
at the
aggressive
beginning.
stuff, by the way, from the Polish team of Goodnight Nomi. Minaros even taking some ramming damage from his own 907s, but Cosmo will probably be hard-pressed to get out of this one, as there is a lot of 907s currently going there. Zusa, the first one there, taking some initial shots here, but Cosmo taking the shots from the 907s that are crossing currently. Zusa down to 600. Which of the two is going to fall first is the question. Cosmo somehow doing some ninja moves to stay alive here, but the 907s by Goodnight Nomi, they didn't stop, but now they're meeting Huldan Chieftain. Cosmo down to a one-shot. Karol still taking heavy punishment on the cross, and the question arises, was that worth it for Goodnight Nomi?
Yeah, I mean, Cosmo is still alive. Now Souza was picked up and he was the one having the good angle onto Cosmo. Cosmo is now trying to hide within the buildings. Finally,
I mean, he got
Karol
one more
picked
shot,
him up.
but
And CSA is sitting on a 4k HP lead already. You can see the Badger has kinda ended up being on the wrong side. The 279 should be...
oh, Lubor, is he going to make it up? I don't think so. He's taking heavy punishment right now. 462 HP only remaining, and there is people shooting at him from multiple angles down to 12 HP. So even HE should be enough to finish him off. That was a fail call to send up the 279 there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Sakalito is on the other side of the map, sitting in the 279 on B1, C1. Might not be the best decision if they rely on him giving the shot calling there to have him in such a separated spot, but obviously that's not always something you can know at the beginning of the game. Combat is putting good shots there into Pabux and Jordan at the same time, from what it seems. Also, obviously, providing spots for the tanks in the back. And CSA seems like they have stabilized the game now on roughly 3.5k HP advantage. They lost 2 tanks for now, but obviously they are defending. They will be able to receive the push. That was a bit of a fluffed shot, considering that he knows that Chieftain needs to peek over the complete area there. Another good
the 907 push is getting caught, by the way, in the northeast.
Coming, and let's see how this goes. Like 4 907s for now versus 4 907s so-called joined, but Kremelets and Trondolf are trying to support them from the back. So far, the HPs are continuously going in favor of CSA, because the double Chieftain with higher alpha and the better Haldan capacities are simply stronger in those positions than a 907. And with a 907 DPM to help out the Chiefs, I don't think they can just overpush it. Camilo now also in a very dire spot. You can see Golda even turned his turret to give some more DPM there. And this CSA defense seems to be very strong against this approach from Goodnight Nomi.
Yeah, Camilo there can't really angle towards everyone. Uran now getting sent in his 907 to simply flank him and take him out of the picture. The thing is, the Chieftains in the northeast cannot really completely overpeak as of yet, because there's the STRV and the CS63 on the hill raining shells on them. So an overcommitment here does not seem advisable currently for the side of CSA, but everywhere else, like, they're defending. They can just sit this one out.
I mean, very solid defense here from the side of CSA. I don't actually think that Uran should have pushed there. Like, he was a full HP 907 sent to kill like a 2-shot or 1-shot 279 that was out in the open. In the end, it didn't really matter, just some stylistic minus points there. But on the other side, we mentioned it, not a lot of stuff happened. Sakalito is still there in his full HP 279. The Badger still sitting very comfortable on A3, and also their first line of defense combat has still 840 HP. Miko spots out Sakalito, who is advancing now. Obviously, having this HP lead doesn't really matter if 5k HP are more or less separated.
To be honest, like, in this this is probably one of the only times where I would say I wouldn't mind a C-line water repush onto the 907s by CSA 907s.
But it's simply not needed, I guess. Like, keep in mind, like, I was mentioning, like, we have 2.3 on the Badger, 2.7 on Sakalito. So this is basically 5k HP separated right now, or not in that fight. So you don't really need to use... Sakalito is using his HP.
Let's just say he's doing his best to equalize the HP disadvantage that his foes are at. So very, very nice and considerate plays. Yeah, sportsman-like even. Yep, yep,
exactly.
completely.
Also, obviously, and he knows that and appreciates the stream and the viewers, so he really wants to keep up the excitement and keep the game
I mean,
running.
he's doing the key hand right now, right? He's
Trading
sacrificing
HP.
Yeah, but he's gaining such a lot of information. Like every 6 seconds, he basically gets the information that the CS63 has gone on reload again.
Yeah. Okay, so I really don't know what he's doing there. I mean,
complete brain fart to push that.
I mean, it's like, oh well, we are good on all sides. Just let's just
start throwing now.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe he was just a bit impatient.
Sakalito being impatient would be not one of the things I expect from his usual game style.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, let's stop with roasting him.
Okay, so from what we can see, Sokol and a second 907 are now being pulled towards the 2-3 line, and I'm pretty sure that Sakalito would like to have some more HP against this double 907 approaching him there, especially with the EBR now going through the bush line. Maybe Sakalito's master plan, after all, was just to push forward far enough that his EBR can take a passive bush, but Sigo's bush isn't like, you know, like
Phil coping noises.
You know, like you move up your 279 here as a spotting block for the EBR, and then your EBR can get into one of those bushes here maybe. But yeah, maybe I was just coping a bit too much. Sigo should be able to see those trees being knocked over. Miko is now spotted, and I want to see the Badger connecting. There is the 480 damage shot. Now Sigo gets spotted, puts in another one into Miko, and Frawley, amazing shooting there. Sigo safe behind the ridge line, and now the 907 push obviously does not have their EBR anymore to just be this first line of spotting. Kremelets in the 907 is being pulled over towards the Badger as well. The Badger is only strong frontally, so if the 907 would have been able to just go around it, that could have been an issue, but now with Kremelets being able to just push towards this A1 corner, all the trees are knocked over there as well. This game should pretty much be as over as it was before Sakalito threw away his full tank.
Yeah, both of the mediums here, the 907 and the CS respectively, spotted. I think whatever, the 907 in the 2 line is going to start pushing soon. Also, there we go. He does get spotted by Sigo, and Kermelets should be starting to fire now.
He missed his shot onto the EBR even. So.
Well, Sigo isn't spotted. That was a blind shot. So Kermelets with the second connection here, the 907 down to 25 HP, expected to fall very, very soon. Right now, still holding on. But yeah, other trades are being made all over the map as well. And to be honest, CSA, they don't even really need to push. They are up 4.5k HP, I think. So
yeah, it's actually 7k HP.
7k. Yeah, now that I get in render with my client, yeah, that's a humongous F for all of the Goodnight Nomi believers here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean CSA, they don't really need to push. They probably are playing mind games right now. It's like we don't even need to do anything, and you can't do anything about it. Like that's what they're trying to do right now.
3 tanks left, 2 tanks left. Justek in his Chieftain is going to save some repair cost. Same goes for Marcel, and yeah.
Is he though? Sigo is starting to push over, misses his shot here. Pepega aim. Yeah, Marcel.
I mean, Marcel doesn't have binos nor optics, so
he does have the vents, so he should be like. Wait, I can go to his perspective.
I don't think you see his view range circles.
I do, because I don't have the mod. He was capped at around 450 meters, if I were to guess.
Well, CSA puts in the first point. Marcel saving some repair cost. And we will go on a second round of Prokhorovka. I have to say, we saw We saw one game of Prokhorovka for the second qualifier, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And CSA was playing very well there. That was it against Nomi without the good night in front of it? There was like the tiebreaker game between them in the semifinals, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was an interesting push over the 5-6 line. Went very well. Yeah. In the meantime, not too surprisingly, Inver putting in the next W 3-0 over Til Bantikor. Raid versus Copium. Copium
1-1.
not with the Excel experience. Putting in their first W here. 1-1
You think they are
scoreline.
mounting configs by now on their 279s?
We'll see.
Also, Tents 2-1 over Aboba.
Yep. And military maneuvers and battle payments activated. So for all the 0 XP that I'm making here, I will get an additional 30% credits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not like in Fame where nobody is active.
I mean, I just activate whenever I feel like it. Okay, so as Phil is taking a food break, apparently he has a Durham. I'm just gonna, talk you over the lineup that we are seeing here. It's going to be Good Night, Mini or Nomi, whatever. I'll have to ask them. Wait, let me ask them real quick. Oh.
I think they're only in this clan recently because they want to use more credit boosters.
Mm-hmm.
So, as the team name is still GNXMI, I guess you can ignore the clan tag.
Okay, so they want to be called the Cine Minis. We're not going to go with that one, but yeah, Good Night Nomi's lineup here. It's going to be 2279, 1 Chieftain, double CS, 1 STRV, double EBR, and the rest is 6907. So a very, very mobile lineup here on their defense of Prokhorovka, maybe even suggesting some initial aggression. Okay, what do we have on the table for CSA? That's going to be a triple EBR 1 CS. Then we have 5 907s, triple Chieftain, and triple 279. Okay, so okay. So basically, whenever you go into first person during countdown as observer, your view gets shifted by 90 degrees. Feature, I guess. Okay, initial openings. Let's see. That looks very, very aggressive by the side of Goodnight Nomi, who are sending a lot of their medium tanks towards the forest. The Chieftains, the 279s towards the middle, and triple 907 also as probably some kind of counter in the 6th line here. But they are going to meet a lot of resistance as Sigo and Miku are making contact on the 1-2 line. Miku taking one shot by Sigo here. Good stuff, but Sigo taking one in return. Taking a second down to 198 HP as all of the 907s are there. Even falls to the grave. And now it will be down to how Goodnight Nomi reacts to, well, basically finding nothing at the moment here. They are just going to keep pushing with their 907s, not really giving a fuck. The problem is there's a lot of 907s by CSA in the back here. Sokol immediately down to 28. He's going to lose his life in an attempt to spot the 2 line, but it's not going to be successful.
Well, you can see Trundolf, Hakaleo, and Kremelets are all spotted. They need to get some cover now because the 907 pushing onto them full HP will keep them spotted all the time. And you can see this blue line there on the E4, 5, 6 positions. Very aggressive defense here from the side of the Polish team. But you can see the 907s in the back are now unspotted again. And Miko needs to do another run if he really wants to spot them.
Also, you can see CSA that had preemptively taken the northeast with double EBR, are now returning and reshuffling their forces. The CSA even driving towards the hill, driving away. They're giving up that part of the map at the moment and are probably just trying to get some crossfire positions against the tanks from Goodnight Nomi that are currently overpeaking in the middle. Jordan are down to 1500 here. He needs to be somewhat careful to not lose more HP. And now Miku is starting to make an approach. Manio on the red line. They're getting spotted out in his 907. Not even sure if he can stay safe both from the 1-2 line and from the middle 279s here as he's putting shot after shot into combat. Now there is an overpush onto the 3 line happening where the double 279 are starting to rain down the hurt onto the 907 that isn't really able to retaliate. So Meklovic is probably going to go down rather sooner than later as Radim is taking 700. So there are some tanks from Goodnight Nomi able to return fire onto the 279.
Yeah, you can see Jiki there trying to overpeak for him. Now you can see as well the low roll there from Mr. Lovitz was not enough to pick up Kremlitz. And I'm not sure why there's no shots being returned. Like the 907 is spotted. It should be easy to penetrate there. Another missed or bounced shot? Like,
and also
what is happening?
Jiki threatening the overpeaks onto the 279 as finally Lakako takes a heart and starts rushing on towards that 907 here, putting in one more shot, reducing him to a one-shot, taking 515 from Jiki that bleeds in return. But I think the initial pressure here has been thwarted by CSA. They're able to hold strong. Pabu now with an overpeak in the 279 does get double tracked, I think, beside the stone, so can't really go much further. Justek trying to support, and in comes the push, I guess, all over the place as 907s and CSs are getting pulled towards the fray to try and overpush Lubor here. But it's all the mediums taking the hurt here. Twist 690. Finally, a shot connects into Lubor. But CSA just has so many snipers in the back. Finally, that 279 falls. But the amount of punishment that Goodnight Nomi is taking right now, it is unsustainable.
Yeah, but keep in mind, there is a CS and a 907 currently out of the game. Sure, the A6 279 can't contribute to the game either, but there are so many guns fighting for the survival here of Goodnight Nomi. CSA has the HP advantage, still sitting firmly in the back. The EBR providing good spots onto the medium tanks that are sitting a bit in the middle there, but Miku has taken an aggressive push and should be able to provide constant spotting onto the tanks in the backline.
Well, he should be able to. Now he leaves that bush and actually goes for a more
Cosmo
aggressive
gets
spotting
spotted.
run.
He is the EBR on 844 HP. Has to stay alive. His buddy Zero dropped earlier already. Now only 330 HP left. Can he get unspotted there? That's the big question. And Marcel in his SDRV still full HP. Moved forward a bit now and should soon be able to put shots onto Sakalito and combat for every overpeak they want to make.
Yeah, exactly. Those medium tanks, they're sort of stuck here currently. They can't really raise their heads anywhere without taking fire. You can see Kermelets, also Trondorf and Unlooking in entrenched positions in that 1-2 line, but still the fact remains that it's actually CSA that need to make something happen here, and just as well, they are now pushing on towards that eastern side. There is one isolated 279 that can't really do a lot against like double 907, one CS, one Chieftain could probably support, and the fact is also that Jordan is on a one-shot. This is probably overpush potential here for CSA that would secure the whole northern part of the map then as well.
You have to see now they're both spotted, and obviously this is 4k HP committing onto a one-shot here. So now is the time, if they really want to make it happen, Gnomi has to make a move now. Otherwise, it's just so much HP on this flank that will rejoin the fight. So if Minairos can't really spot out the tanks in the back now, Miko and Minairos both being picked up now. Cosmo should be picked up in return, but Kremlitz is still unspotted, and I think that's it for the game. CSA will be able to rejoin all their forces and wrap up. Yeah, I mean, this interesting attack, from what I would say, for Goodnight Nomi. 4 minutes left.
Well, they were defending, but it looked like an attack.
Yeah, I mean, it was, let's say, an aggressive defense.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, the 907's now getting
now
pulled
rejoining
through towards the middle.
4,000 HP basically coming back here, run. Frawley also still sitting on 1,500 HP. Decides that the 907s should go first.
Rightfully so, I would say. But yeah, Nastrzala, I guess now the focus of the 907s that are getting pushed in. Camilo and Zuza trying to do whatever they can here, but Nish, I don't want to say the name anymore. But yeah, basically he falls to the ground. Lukin now with his Chieftain in the fray against 907 and CS, receiving support from Uran and Krmelets as we speak. So maybe he's going to lose some more HP, but what he's certainly not going to lose is the game, as CSA holds strong against this ultra aggressive defense by Goodnight Nomi that they weren't able to basically completely pull off. It looked sort of Invil-esque, but if you're gonna do strategies like
looks
this, you
more
need
like
to...
a Boba pushing in and dying there.
Okay, I wasn't gonna be toxic if you want to do that. Go ahead. I wash my hands and
Wash my hands in their blood.
Phil
Okay.
woke up and chose violence.
Exactly. So Ondra is now approaching Carol. I think he is on a side flank there, and Frawley chooses violence as well. Shooting, ramming, everything is allowed. 2-0 for CSA after the first map, and I would really like to see the Czech team now picking up the pace and converting this into a 3-point W, because they definitely need it.
Mm-hmm. They need it, and also I think they want it, as we are going to jump maps now. Prokhorovka, I can't talk anymore, down and over with. We are headed towards Hiemki. What do we make of that map? CSA didn't look too good on Himmelsdorf in the qualifier 1, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, Sakalito, I think I have the trust. I think they will just 3-1 or 3-0 that game and put in the W. 3 points. Full 3 points, I think. What do you think? I say full 3 points, either 3-1 or 3-0.
I think that has a very high possibility of coming true. Okay, so let's take a very quick look at the post-battle stats. We can see a very nice distribution here over the team of CSA. I mean, yeah, the EBR is at the bottom, but then again, they did get not a lot of spotting damage necessarily. Well, Ondra actually getting like 2.8k, but they did get the crucial information on the EBR locations. Miku dying without damage. Well, he did get 2.7k spotting, but it just wasn't enough to break that 1-2 line defensive hold that CSA was employing. And yeah, the STRV, 11 shots, probably a lot of them blind, 4 hits, three penetrations. Marcel, he did look very good in the qualifiers. I think he even got 6k or something in one of the rounds. Not really able to show up here, but then again, when your team is super aggressive, then it's also super awkward to play STRV effectively, because you have no reliable way of predicting where you will have to position yourselves to get shots.
And also, you don't want to be too far forward, because
because if you get spotted, you die.
Exactly. I think it was actually the Sand River game against DV, the tiebreaker of the second qualifier, where him together with one of the EBRs was carrying the later stages of the game. 6,000 damage, and yeah, I mean, a crucial part of that was basically finalizing their victory. Like, it was 3-2. It was very close. Davy had more guns, but they just utilized the combination of an STRV and EBR very well, so they could convert that into a participation ticket in the group stage.
Mm. Okay, so CSA now defending on the well-known streets of Himmelsdorf. Goodnight Nomi, they need to convert this round here if they even want to stay in this match. Otherwise, CSA would get those much-needed 3 points. Now, let's take a look at the lineups. And, well, for CSA, fairly standard stuff, I would say. They got like 5 279s, 1 CS, and 9 chieftains. For the side of Goodnight Nomi, they got a 268v4. All right, so we're going to see if they're going to push that through the 2 and 3 line. Double CS, then also a 50B, 5 chieftains, the rest 279s.
Yeah, I mean, often this 268 version 4 is a bit of a giveaway that there is an approach over the rails. Sometimes you see some very experimental stuff like pushing it through the 8 line or even over the hill, but usually that version 4 is very dominant here on this 2-3 line. Now taking a bit of a passive approach.
I think he's just crossing unspotted towards the 1 line to then be able to just book it down. He's going to meet quite a bit of resistance, I would say.
Yeah, I guess in the meantime we can take a look at what is happening at the hill, because there are actually quite a lot of tanks here from the side of Goodnight Nomi approaching the hill. I think it's 2 CS pushing the 279s. So 4 tanks there, 3 chieftains and the 50B. Frawley figured that out immediately. Now all the chieftains are leaving. Also leaving unspotted, which is very important because there is no information for Goodnight Nomi on where those tanks are being positioned.
They are sort of being sent towards the 2 and 3 line, where there is a push happening. CSA acting proactively on their defense here. They're going to try to overpower Justek in his 2684. Now, the 279 in the courtyard cannot really be attacked, but here CSA obviously taking some damage because they are driving into stationary guns. Justek here probably will be able to do one more shot of damage as he does. But yeah, the chieftain's going to start focusing his cupola here. Question is, will they be able to kill him before he gets off another shot? Ondra now starting with the flank here, and now they're pushing him to the side. So yeah, he's... Oh, he does get off another one. Clutch shot here by the 2684. Then again, everywhere else on the map is all like little skirmishes. Hakako in his chieftain, very, very low HP in the window. Probably should have run here, but chose not to. And now Minairo's raining down fire from the hill. Same for Manio, but they, like, Goodnight Nomi needs to make something happen. CSA, they are still defending here, and they are finding a okay engagement so far, I would say, in the G and H 6 positions here, where they are able to single out Marcel, because the remainders of their team are cutting off the reinforcements for Goodnight Nomi. However, they're paying dearly for it. Marcel now finally able to get double teamed by Uran and Kormelets, but Jordan in his 279 out for blood, now driving into the street, putting in one shot into Marcel. That was not in the script. What? I guess the clutch team kill coming in to save Kurmelets from dying because Jordan is now going to go down. That was certainly not what he had in mind. I guess PayPal from the Czech team is going to arrive soon. And now Camilo and Twist probably wondering what their buddy did. Like,
at what point did it all go wrong?
I've completely lost my flow of, like, what?
Okay, so Kremlets made it around the corner, puts in another good shot, and now CSA, which were down roughly 4k HP, were able to convert all those. You can see all those kills in the bottom there, securing the gun advantage, being 3k, 2.5k HP up now. They are still in somewhat of a brawl there against Miko and Karol, but Trundolf is sitting comfortably on 1.8k HP. He was the one driving a bit slower, not getting shot from the hill in the initial aggression from CSA. Another kill being picked up by the Czech team. Only 6 tanks remaining. And I feel like this is the end. This is the beginning of the end. And this will also be the end of the end.
I mean, the end began when basically there was the team kill happening by Jordan. Like, brother. I mean, probably not the game-losing shot, but it put the nail in the coffin.
Why you do me like this?
Yeah, his teammate was probably like, "What the fuck?" Okay,
so
I guess
will try to pick up Ondra.
He does get the pickup.
Trundle should be able to close in, and yeah, with the last tank standing, being positioned on the hill, we might see a small pocket of resistance, but that won't take forever.
Yeah, Minairos, I mean, he's trying to pad some stats here with his 50B, gets another connection here, a third one, and he does do the 4-4-4, but he's probably not going to be happy regardless, as he does get picked up now, and Manio, well, also padding stats, but not really trying to hide here. being double teamed by Uran and Cosmo. So I guess the Marty viewers are going to be happy as CSA is going to claim an undisputed, a firm victory over Goodnight Nomi, who are now scrambling for points. And
Yeah, I think Saka, he realized that his camping strats didn't lead to us not streaming his games anymore. And now he's just like, okay, I would just win 3-0, so you don't get to see the third map.
I've had wine glass.
Yeah. So clever stuff here by Sakalito, and while taking a look at what is happening, it looks like we have a tiebreaker situation between Raid and Copium.
It's going to start in 3 minutes.
In time, so
non-stop action.
Non-stop action provided by the sponsor of today,
Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, I wanted to dodge that one. So
I guess World of Tanks.
Raid Copium Legends here.
No, just World of Tanks, a massive multiplayer online games in which players can participate in historical battles featuring over 700 vehicles in massive 30 versus 30 battles. You should definitely check it out. It's free to play.
Yeah, Jordan here. It too, Jordan. Like Brutus stabbing him in the back. Poor Marcel. But yeah, good stuff by CSA.
Okay, so 2 more minutes. Copium and Raid both obviously securing a point on the board already. They're going to fight for the second one for either side. Let's take a look at the lineup. Map is going to be Murovanka. One of the players is still missing a tank, namely, never mind, there we go. It's going to be 279 WBR 10 Chief.
Saka just wrote me. He needs like half an hour break now. Small siesta. And then he will be fresh for the third round.
His players are probably alt-F4ing the game client right now to play a different game.
I mean, like Sakalito, he's like in the last third of his lifespan already, so you know,
the dinosaur.
You know, the dinosaurs, they're still afraid of a second comet coming towards them.
Alrighty, 50 seconds here. I mean, we can take a quick look at the groups, I guess. So, Goodnight Nomi now, regardless, on 3 points because they won their first match. CSA actually in front currently because Raid. Ooh, CSA. Like if Raid wins, CSA and Raid are going to be tied for first. And if Copium wins...
No. CSA will be second because of the direct comparison.
Ah, okay. But if Raid doesn't win this one, they'll have to... Like, it's actually going to be a fight for second in between Goodnight Nomi and Raid.
I mean, Goodnight Nomi has basically the direct comparison in the last... The winner...
Your microphone is acting up.
Doing something with our stream. So should be fine again. And yeah, Copium versus Raid. First time we watch Copium in the group stage here, bringing 1 EBR against the 2 EBRs of Raid. That tank is compensated by an additional 279. A lot of chieftains for both teams, not too unexpected. And Aubrey making his appearance here in a chieftain. Switched the teams after losing 3-0s in the finals, so I guess applying the concept of if you can't beat them, join them.
Okay, so splits right now. Raid sending 1 EBR Forest, 1 EBR 1-2.
Copium mostly going with a 2-3 line approach, but they're trying to not show their tanks as of yet, whereas Raid that are defending, so have that advantage going for them. Mostly A-line with their chieftains, obviously they can rotate wherever needed.
Mhm. I mean,
So,
Hannes has the full spotting setup. Usually there's, when you opt for one of the full spotting setups, you decide if you want to go for the purple vents or for the bounty low noise exhaust system. So Hannes opted for the additional view range by the vents. Having the bush in the open should not require any additional camouflage. That's also a very standard thing to do. They're knocking over the bush with HE, driving backwards to avoid the blind shot from Timmy, and now being able to spot out the complete line of tanks there that could be positioned behind the ridge line. Talking basically about this area.
So, Copium, I would say very unconventional strategy here, because they're leaving like some 279s.
Oh, look at this. Hannes found the 279s behind the ridge line. So Hannes spotted out the F2-3 corners, at least 2 of the tanks there, and I'm pretty sure that by moving
He also
back and
spotted
forward,
out the EBR.
now everyone is spotted there. So good stuff here by Hannes. We have to just mention it over and over again. Like, Hannes is still on full HP. Hannes provided super crucial information for his team, and that will just buy them another 2 minutes, or at least 1.5 minutes of being able to figure out how to approach this potential attack. I mean, they know now that if they spot, Weekendak will stay spotted, will be spotted. And I feel like there's just not enough movement for Copium right now. So maybe they just saying, okay, we will just pretend that we drove back. Wait 2 minutes.
I think they're just refilling their canisters right now.
Maybe that's the approach. So, well, after refilling their canisters, Butov seems to be leaving. Weekendak the only one staying for now. He drove up aggressively, so they knew that they wouldn't be able to just leave altogether unspotted. So he's basically providing a spotting block.
I mean, the problem here for Copium is currently that they have only one EBR, and that one isn't really getting a lot of information, and also needs to be careful because, well, basically, they have a rough idea where Hannes is, but the other EBR they also don't know about. So anything that Copium would do currently would be a blind push.
Yeah, and obviously he's moving while the other EBRs are stationary. That means the low noise exhaust system will work against him. And stabilization wise, he's not having stabilizer, he's not having vents, so it will be much harder for him to hit the enemy EBR than the aimed EBR plus the chieftains in the back to punish him for making an aggressive run.
Now the 279s are getting readied on the 1 line for an aggressive move, I guess. It's going to be a split push here. The question is, what's the hammer and what's the anvil? As all the chieftains are getting sent through the 9-0 line. One of them seems to not be moving, though. Is that a timeout, Aubrey?
I think he's just chilling.
Chilling?
He just moved his turret. I'm pretty sure he just moved his turret.
Huh. Oh my god, what is that decal, by the way? Oh my...
I designed that.
Oh, good lord. Anyway, one of the chieftains now got sent forward in the forest. That's Herman IQ Lorold. And other than that, not a lot really has happened. 5 minutes gone. That is half of the game over.
Yeah, I really like how Smiley is controlling his players to stay behind the ridgeline, don't greed for overpeaks, minimize the amount of info and spots that Herman can generate here, and It looks like we are now getting our long-awaited push. Hannes, I don't know, like Hannes puts in a shot frontally into the 279, gets behind the ridgeline, Teji misses him as well, and so far it seems like he gets out alive and without having lost any HP. So yeah, just good stuff here by the EBR player of Raid. And the
I mean, the
bleeding has
279s
started.
Yeah, the 279s have started the March of the Elephants now, and Chieftains are getting rotated left, right, and center to greet them here with furious counterfire. And as soon as those Chieftains make it further, I expect for a push in the forest to start. The problem is that Raid is doing it very, very smart here right now. They have just rotated enough Chieftains to cope with the 279 pressure here, and the 279s, they can't really make it further without bleeding heavily. Timmy now seems to be outflanked here as he does take 2 shots even, but so far I don't really see Copium breaking that camp.
Aubrey had an angle onto him here from the back, and now Vikendak is advancing as well, but this is very risky. Like, yes, you have the upper ground, but you're facing a lot of Howland tanks. Magic there will just buy another bit of time. Not driving
a nice shot
forward.
into Magic. But yeah, he can't go forward too much.
Yeah. Like, Copium has an HP advantage now, roughly 3k up or 2.5. But it's only 3 minutes left, and I'm not sure if they can put it in time. And like, Magic's still surviving. He found apparently a safe spot. Now the push is coming on the other side. The Chieftains are moving forward. But
the question is how many of them were spotted doing that.
I think Ali moved away in time to avoid just being a free pickup. Now the push is coming. 10 Chieftains here moving forward.
Ducky immediately taking a lot of damage down to 1200. I would love for him to maybe stay back a little, but no, he does actually decide to completely go in and go out of the game. Now 3 Chieftains getting diverted towards the 279, and that Chieftain probably trying to drown them, and at the same time 4 more Chieftains are trying to make their way on towards the A8 position, where they're going to be met with fierce resistance. Now, how many people are going to drown here?
Two drowned at least. So.
Well, Jekifar drowned full HP, Darokun got drowned as well, and now Kolinkon misses his shot against Link, who doesn't miss a beat in return. So, but I still think that the Copium player should be winning there. Now it's all about how steady and how fast Copium will be able to advance here. They're still 5k down here, so they just have to make it work. But can they actually, with the amount of HP that remains in their hands?
I think Link was actually lucky that he low rolled there onto the Chieftain, not activating Adrenaline Rush and getting the reload advantage. Now picking up another kill before getting back into his Halon spot. He's very low there in the water, but puts in another shot, and look at the HP difference. Still, this A3 corner was not cleared up. I mean, they didn't even approach it so far. And with only 1 minute left, Magical sitting on a one-shot, but still holding his position. Panuka being able to pick up Aubrey. I guess the only thing we can say so far is they put in 2 points on the board, and they will not go out of this match winless. 1 point for Copium after 2 matches have been played. I'm not sure if that is enough. Playing against CSA now. And yeah, we will find out shortly.
They will need a 3-pointer here, and Raid is gonna secure the 2nd point here for themselves, as LXAD, I guess, is going to be the last one to fall. And to be honest, never in this game did I see did I feel like Copium was on top of the ball game. Raid was always at least 1 step ahead. So,
okay, I think all matches should have been finalized by now. I will give you obviously the post-game stats for everyone that is interested. EBR spotting numbers are 2k for Hannes and 1.3k for Panuka, but he made 4 kills. 900 combined, or 1100 combined for the EBR of Copium. So CSA winning 3-0. Raid winning 3-2. And look at how far up the Invil victory is. 3-0 for Invil as well. That means we have a pretty clear favorite of Group 2. Tens actually lost their complete second map and their tiebreaker against Aboba. So 3-2 for Aboba.
Mm-hmm. So what do we actually watch now?
Well, initially I thought we would watch the clash of the Czech teams. Copium versus
CSA.
CSA, but we watched kind of CSA twice already, or 1.5 times. What about we go for...
Well, I think Tilt Banticore against Pure Aboba might be a good one.
that was what I was going to suggest.
Okay, so I guess see y'all in about 9
Yeah,
minutes,
like-
which is when the match is gonna start.
Exactly. Okay, then we will be back in a moment. See you then. Okay, so the start of the third round is approaching. We will take a quick look at the current standings. In Group 1, as we just saw, Raid final approach here on the Copium attack of Murovanka 3-2. So Raid securing 2 points in their win against CSA, another 2 points against Copium. Due to the direct comparison, there is a clear first place of Raid. Point-wise, CSA on 4 points as well. Copium is now fighting for survival. They need 3 points against CSA and then a match of direct comparison. Goodnight Nomi will play against Raid. That's also still a very important match. If they win, they end up on 6 points and could get first if Copium wins their game against CSA. If that's not the case, they really have to hope that CSA keeps Copium on 1 point. Otherwise, Gnomi might get kicked out after all. Invil secured their upper bracket participation already. So 6 points for Invil. Tilt on 3, Pedro Bobo on 2, and Tens on only 1 point. The game
I mean, Tens now playing against Invil. Uy, uy, uy.
Yeah, I mean, they were 2-0 up against Aboba and just didn't make it count. So, yeah, we will need to see how Tilt versus Aboba, the game that we decided to pick for you, will be played now.
I mean, so far us spectating Aboba did not really bode well for them. I think they lost like all rounds that we saw them play. So maybe we are going to be able to break that series now. Yeah, both of them basically fighting for their spot in the upper bracket here. And yeah. Okay, as I guess initial info gathered by Hashtag here, who does spot a tank or two from the enemy's side. That's CS there. Oh my god, go on to the CS. Go.
Which CS?
Putin.
Oh, yeah.
Incident. Incident. He basically drove against the stone and things happened.
Yeah. Do we want to emphasize a bit more on that?
Yes. Emphasize it. Really rub it home.
Okay. So yeah, well, this is how his world's
well, I guess
looking like right now, or maybe like more like this. I think we had enough of that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, basically he decided to take a look at things at matters from a different perspective, and indeed he's going to be in the spectator perspective for the remainder of this game. Now, Tilt, they will be obviously very happy with the proceedings of the first 1.5 minutes here, and yeah, not the best of starts for Aboba. Let's say it nicely. Silik now pushing up in his Chieftain through the 6th line. That can actually be... the CS could probably outtrade him here. He doesn't get spotted though, so I guess he's gonna chill for now in the bushes to try and prevent Hashtag in his EBR from taking some western bushes on the hill. And Positive here in his EBR sort of falls down into the ditch because there were a lot of blind shots flying his way earlier. And Tilt, I guess, pretty happy with how the match is going. There is one Chieftain close to the cap. Let me try and see if he's AFK. Yeah, Bunter error.
Bunter is just chilling.
Bunter error, I guess. That is...
I mean, taking into consideration that the CS flipped, Bunter just decided, I mean, there is
even it out.
Positive with a very positive trade here. 593 into Hashtag Curry not taking anything in return. And it looks like a 279 push is coming there, being, pushed forward by the double 907 there, moving.
Yeah, basically Aboba completely decided to abandon the western part of the map. Only one chieftain there still on the western side of the rails. Everyone else just being pulled into this push. And to be honest, Tilt, they have an ample amount of tanks to shoot onto this, as hashtag Curry, still on 11 HP, finally does get picked up by Freedom. And that push now is in full on move as Unique and as DE. Probably the next ones to get pushed up on Step Pro Infinity, taking one to the engine, burning here, is going to make it across nonetheless. But that is a lot of 907s that are attacking right now, and you can see on the other parts of the map, Tilt is making reactions. The question is, are they going to be on time?
Yeah, you can see Spieler is spotted now, but important, he did not end up falling back to like 11 HP as the 279 from CSA earlier. Aboba still down in HP. They kind of made it into this ditch now and are now trading against the chieftain there. Unique will play a crucial role into defending this, and 2 pickups immediately by the team in white. Aboba now down 6k HP, and this might actually be won even without Bunter.
Yeah, so far in the northeast, the tanks by Tilt are holding strong. Aboba is bleeding very heavily, down 7k HP currently, and once again it is that recurring theme of the 907s in the northeast, just not able to withstand against the chieftain holddowns, and also Spieler in his 279 up there, just continuously able to put in side shots into the 907s. Only 2 of them remaining in the immediate brawl, and I don't think they can really pick up any kills as of now. Judge now falling down to a 2-shot. Yosi trying to jump into the fray here now with his lot of HP, but down to 700 HP immediately. And Unique basically with Brawling able to keep his tanks alive. Both of the 907s now down to a 1-shot, both of them now down into the garage. And Shockish, the guy with the 2 marked golden fists here in the SGRB in the back, probably continuously firing, but all of it not enough to help out his team here. Maybe he'll be able to pick up a kill or 2 more. But yeah, he doesn't even have optics, so not able to spot the enemies here. And he doesn't even have a bounty
He
aiming
has it in the
unit.
boosted slot, I guess.
Yeah, but like, still,
I mean,
bounty aiming is better than boosted aiming.
Yeah, I mean, Bunter raising his gun now, he made it into the game. Absolutely no problem.
Great success.
For him, great success. Good stuff here coming in from the team in white. Now they will be on the attack. And yeah, with them having 3 minutes to prepare their strat, we can take a look at how the other games are going. Invo 1-0 up against Tens. The other games are still running. I will ready up my spectator tank and grab a water while we can see that Immensive did here actually a very good job, 5.5k damage, and Shockish didn't really...
2.7 only.
Yeah, I think he had to fight into all those Howldown Chieftains, Howldown 907s.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the problem, right? When your team pushes, it's so incredibly awkward to...
I will grab a water, be right back. You can entertain the stream.
Alright. So we took a look at the results already, but I don't really have anything else to talk about. So let's just do that once again, as we just saw. Tilt Banticore right now with a win over Pure Aboba 1-0, and Invel Holovnitsi leading against Tents currently. The other games that are going on are Raid against Goodnight Nomi and Copium against CSA. Then again, if we take a look at the damage dealt, we can see Bunter there, probably just with the mental fortitude to make his team secure that win, not even needing to shoot here. 153 assistance for him, and the CS63 from Pure. That was not what you want to see. That was incident material. I hope someone clipped it. In the battle here, we now see that Bunter is not connected to the game currently, so it might be the case that Tilt will have to enter the following battle without one of, if not the main caller that they have available. Anyway, they are going to be attacking on Prokhorovka now, and they are going to be doing so with double EBR, 1 STRV, 1279, 5 Chieftains, and that is 6 907s. Obviously, if this battle here is or rather this match is a clean sweep, then we'll have a look at the other games, like if something is still going to provide the maximum amount of tanks going boom today in this group stage for the Clan Showdown June tournament in 2022. And honestly, I've run out of things to say, so I guess I'm gonna shut up until we see the lineup of Pure. So Pure coming into this one with a double EBR, 1 STRV, 2279, 4 Chieftains, and 6 907s as well. So basically, 1 Chieftain on the side of Tilt being traded for 1279 on the side of Pure. And other than that, lineup's just completely symmetrical.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing to notice is obviously that the defending team a bit heavier, but still the attacking team coming with another non-bounty aiming STRV Immensive.
Wait, he doesn't even have any boosted modules.
I mean, he might even has 2 boosted modules. If he has the field mods, he can...
Oh yeah, true, but like still, come on, bro.
I mean, he has a small medkit.
I hope he loses this round, all I can say.
I mean, good stuff here by Curry. Rap kit in the 5 slot, boosted IRM, boosted low noise exhaust system, purple optics, and the CVS in the correct slot as well. And very interesting to see how the teams started to distribute their forces at the beginning of the game here. Nobody basically contesting the 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 line. Everyone aiming for enemy EBRs, so yeah, we'll just see how that turns out here. I can add the attack defense symbol, obviously. We know that Aboba is defending and Tilt had their defending round before. Up a point already, so their chance of now evening out the game, or obviously Tilt's chance of grabbing the 2-0 on Prokhorovka.
Yeah, so far not a lot of activity from either team. Obviously, it is Aboba defending. They don't really need to do a lot, and Tilt, they seem content with what's happening right now, which, to be honest, is not a lot. Yeah. I mean, Tilt, they still have like 8 minutes to find an opening to make something happen, and finally we do see activity on the side of Tilt, which is basically they're leaving 1 Chieftain on the hill together with 1 EBR. They're pushing two more Chieftains to the middle to join up with the 279, and they're rotating all of their medium tanks together with the STRV to the 1-2 line. The problem here is that, well, basically, if you see more and more heavy tanks appearing in the middle, then that leaves only 2 options, really, to where the 907s
Yeah, I
are going to
think
push.
you're absolutely right. ASDE and Danley, they should both try to stay a bit lower now. I think what ASDE is doing right now is pretty good. Like, just stay in the back. Don't get spotted by the EBR that is doing runs. And yeah, I mean, don't give away too much information. The first 907 Yosa there rotated over already. So you can see 3 tanks here grouped on A3 together with Shockish in the A1 corner. 3s were knocked over earlier already. And now it's on Tilt to either execute a proper push or die trying.
Yeah, the problem is here that Positive, he did get the info on the Chieftains driving middle, and that suggests either 6 line or 2 line. So I would love for Tilt to rotate some more tanks over, but They don't really seem too concerned here, and maybe rightfully so, as Shokish is tucked tightly into that corner. Some EBR YOLO run would be needed to get him out of there, and Dreiser will be... Dreiser will be spotting those 907s
now
very
everyone
early.
is spotted, and you can see the 907s from A6 should be able to put in some shots, maybe track one of the tanks before they disappear in the ditch. Now, the damage was not too impressive. Killer Pit, what are you doing, my friend? Risking there to get another salvo, staying on top, but now Dreiser was pushed back in his EBR. The HP loss on the side of Tilt is still manageable. Killer Pit taking another shot. Dreiser down to 500. And now we will have to see if the Chieftains and the STRV in the back can make short with their immense with a good pickup. And the push is coming. Purple and Spieler now pushing into Putin, Jose, Shokish, who is still not spotted, by the way. And there is the spot. Now Shokish drops to 700, drops to 400 and out of the game. Killer Pit picks up the kill, and Spieler now trying to surround the Chieftains, but his reinforcements are pretty low on HP already. Look at those 900 on 3 EBRs, on 3 907s basically. Aljo has to join and is losing heavy HP for that. The HP overall are still even, and keep in mind Radio Primate and Immensive are trying to put shots in the back, but Silic needs the support of Jose now, who still hasn't turned. And this could pretty much be a win for Tilt if they close it in time.
Well, the thing is, Putin now getting another crucial kill here onto Killer Pit. That one was very well, like he sacrificed his life for it, but he was going to die either way. Now finally Silic getting picked up, and it is down to Tilt here and now, who have secured the entirety of the western part of the map to dig out the other part of the team of Aboba, who really didn't lose that much. Yes, they lost the STRV and 3 more tanks, but they paid so dearly in HP. However, surprisingly, Tilt still up in HP around 2k. They just need to convert that into more kills here. They are slightly up, yes, but it's still the team of Aboba that's defending, and they got a crucial asset with the 279 in A6 that will be able to deny any kind of capping attempt.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it. The cap was not really their focus. Only one 907 there left for now, and all the tanks rotating back towards the south here. You can see overall...
Judge, oh god. Go on Flubber, and then look towards the water.
What am I supposed to see?
Go into flying mode. Now go towards the water.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now go on an adventure and look into the water.
Yes. just yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's take a look at the southern part of the map, because I think that's where the next tilt push is going to happen.
I mean,
but how do you manage to do that 2 games? Like, it's not the same player, granted, but like, how do you overturn 2 tanks in 2 battles?
Yeah, positive ramming file, which gives him like, I don't know, like 22 damage or something. As first like 19 and then like 2 or 3, and then he was a 1-shot for Sam, who picks up the last remaining EBR of Aboba. Pedger took a shot by, I think, 907 on the top of the hill, but put in 1 into Crespix, and the HPs are pretty much in favor of Tilt since this 907 incident there, and it looks like they will use those HPs to just close in the last 2 minutes here. Flaba takes another shot, returns 1 onto the EBR, and I guess that's a good trade. Pedger taking the next hit there, so he lost 2 in a row. Denley now taking over his position. Let's see what they have planned. Denley has to be careful that he doesn't get tagged from Freedom. Pedger takes another shot, takes 2 shots actually.
Well, now the push on the hill is in full swing. Radio Primate, Spieler, ASDE, all coming in here. So far not dealing a lot of damage to the 907s. Finally, Fly reduced to a 2-shot. Hakia trying to shield his brother, but Sam coming in with a sweep here to take out the 907. And now, Freedom also burning to a crisp. Hakia, the last one on the hill, almost down, but not out yet. Finally, there he goes. And now Sam coming in for his next shot onto Flabber EU. And yeah, he does get that one off. pulls off a circus stunt and keeps driving while taking one hit from Flabber still. And now ASDE probably going to secure that one with a ram as he does. And now Pussyquel and, yeah, actually only Pussyquel left here to
I think he will.
wonder.
I think he will join his buddy there in the water.
Yeah, maybe try to overturn himself as well.
Yeah, swimming with the fishes.
Mm-hmm. How does that happen 2 times in a row, dude?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and it will stay like that. He will.
I think
Not have a
Copium is a
third
different
chance.
team. Like, they are aspirants right now.
Yeah, I think they will not have a third chance on Prokurovka. So 2-0 for Tilt, also 2-0 for Invil over Tens. And CSA is leading against Copium, Goodnight Nomi leading against Raid. So Group 1 is still staying very interesting. We'll have to see. Maybe if this goes for a quick 3-0, we will be able to jump into one of the other games. Also, Sam here, outstanding EBR performance, 11-11-10. He was able to pick up 2 kills, 1 onto the EBR, I think positive. Yeah, I mean, good stuff, just good stuff.
Okay, so 2 minutes to go until we find out if Tilt is going to get a clean sweep over Boba, or if they're actually able to pick it up here.
I need to quickly take a call. I'm back in like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back in time. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah, we are there for the lineups. Okay.
Tilt coming in with double CS, double B, 5 Chiefs, rest 279s. Pure fighting here for survival, 1A4, 1E3. Double B, quadruple 279, and the rest 6 Chieftains.
I mean, this triple 50B strat was brought already earlier against Invil. Obviously, the E3, E4 combination was not used at that point. Tilt will start on the defending side. In Himmelsdorf, that's usually not so important. It's mainly about if you start from the north or from the south. You can see the CS63s are moving immediately towards the hill area. Not too unexpected, especially if you have 2 of them. And bit of an interesting distribution of tanks here for Aboba. The E3 will be used to hold the 8 line, the 50B and Chieftain coming afterwards. I mean, usually the E3 is not really a tank to push.
What is that 8 line movement by 50B and Chief and E3?
Yeah, I mean, they're just pushing.
Indeed that they are, and they aren't really going to find anything. The problem is if they
Good reaction
continue...
by Dandy. I mean, he took one, but that's absolutely fine.
That's better than
Giving
losing
up
your
some
life. What's not
space.
good is ramming the corner of the street, like the corner of the house when trying to get away. But yeah, old Scammer now in his 279 taking heavy damage in the courtyard because the hill is under firm control by Tilt currently, even starting to burn here. Judge also taking damage. Old Scammer gonna go burn down here to a 2-shot, and Skirpi also taking damage on his crossing respectively. So a lot of HP paid by the side of Aboba for nothing really in return.
Oh, and they didn't manage to track ASDE. Like, this is crucial. The CS is so fast on the way down the hill. He will easily make it around. I'm not sure why Puppy overstayed there, but good bait, I guess, for Jose to overpeak into him. Jose will be able to miss, actually, his shot. Not getting double track in return, but getting a lot of damage. And take a look at the HP. It's 4k up now. Dandy was picked up by the E3, but the repush is in a full swing. Jose might actually lose. Yes, even both.
Lose his life.
So Aboba down one tank. They returned the favor onto Dandy Boeing. Now the hill repush is happening. 4k HP still up for the team in white. And I think the hill commitment will be the decisive swing here, because if that is happening, we saw it earlier, the G line has to be cleared up. Positive, Old Scammer, and Judge, they're all there now approaching this. Crespix should be the next one to fall. Let's take a look at how the situation is going on the lower side, because Pika is in a heap of trouble.
Pika indeed is in a heap of trouble, as there's tanks in front, tanks behind him, and all of them do not belong to his team, as he now falls to the grave. Patcher here getting found by Postsequel now in his 50B, makes it around the corner, actually does get double tracked, but he slides behind the corner, so Pixel won't be able to pick him up quite yet. And now it is all about how fast Tilt will be able to reinforce their lower side, because yes, they firmly taken the hill, but that is HP that is not participating in the fight currently, and those high alpha tanks with the E3 and E4, for example, from Positive, that just did a shot into Killer Pit, are securing them kill after kill on the lower side in the Mercedes section of Himmelsdorf. Finally, Stepbro, Infinity, and Unique have returned from the hill, but Stepbro immediately falls because the E3 is able to put in one more shot here. Radio Primate now also falling. This game is neck and neck right now, and Positive, he just needs to finish off Killer Pit to be able to help Dreiser against Hashtag here, and Tilt will obviously scramble to get their tanks off from the hill to reinforce and help their people on the lower side that are under firm assault. Finally, Killer Pit does get picked up by Positive, and now Hashtag's position is compromised because of this, and also Aboba starting triple cap here, forcing Tarks in his 50B probably to go very, very close towards the cap. That is a pickup onto Postsequel here, and Skirpi falling in turn. So there are some return kills coming out by the team of Tilt, but they still need to be able to get those crucial resets on the cap. Fly now Peaks doesn't really care about the damage that he takes because the cap is running, but Shockish does get resetted by Unique. Unique now trying to peak once more, but Shockish does get picked up by someone else, and finally the tanks by Tilt arrive at their own cap and are able to get kill after kill.
Yeah, you can see two tanks there, Dreiser and Positive, still chasing around Hashtag Curry. Fly should be the next one to fall, and the cap was cleaned up completely. The HPs are still pretty much even, but 6 tanks against 3 now. Freedom being sandwiched by Unique picks up the kill, and this does not look good for Aboba. 2 tanks left. Hashtag Curry just traded one against Dreiser. Should have his perk for additional reload now. Adrenaline Rush kicked in, but Dreiser is still the first one to pull the trigger. And if Dreiser doesn't pull off a miracle here, this is a 3-0 for Tilt.
Yeah, and it becomes ever more likely as there is a 4v1 situation. So Dreiser in for the Kolobanovs, the one that everyone wants, but Alio now closing in on 860 HP. It would need little short of a miracle here for Dreiser to pull this one back, as also Tarks here and Sem are closing, and there is little to nothing that he can do against this. Now even goes on to reload. Puppy not connecting his shot, but the 50B, for example, could even go for the full flank here. I would actually like to see that, to be honest. And yeah, Tarks does it. Puppy with a peak here and with dying, but now Sem is going to close the distance. Sem actually bounces one, but remember, guys, the 50B is actually on the rotation here. Alien finally going in. The 50B actually bouncing a shot. but he does do the second one. So with a bit of a clown fiesta at the end, Tilt able to pull through here. 2 tanks remain, 1200 HP remain for them. And what also remains for them is 3 points for Gryffindor, as they are taking the clean 3-0 over Aboba.
Yeah, I mean, very aggressive move again by Aboba, and again, not working out. So Tarix, even though he bounced one of the last shells top of the damage charts, Jose, I don't know. I mean, he didn't get blown up. 0 damage in his 50B. He already
was
had
the 50B
his
pushing in 8 line.
Yeah, he already had his moment where they pushed into the 8 line from the other side, and that didn't really work out. Are we able to jump into the Copium versus CSA game in time? It seems to be like that.
Oh, nice.
So, let me quickly switch around. That, okay. Now we can go back to checking the damage stuff. Unique here, 12-12 as well. Important decap points onto Shockers. That was very important that he was the first one to pull the trigger. I don't think you can blame Shockers. Like, his gun was pointed towards the other entrance, towards the cap. So he just had the turret rotation. I mean, the Chieftain has like 40 degrees per second turret rotation, and he had to turn it like 90 or even 120 degrees. So there's just not enough time to return the fire onto the 50B. So good stuff here coming from Tilt. Are you in the Copium team? No, here as well. Good. So we are gonna watch another round of Live Oaks. CSA won their defense on Live Oaks earlier against Raid, if I remember correctly. So CSA also secured a point already over Copium. So Copium is sitting right now on 1 point, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the loss in direct comparison against Goodnight Nomi. That means that Copium is out already. Still, we will watch all the remaining games of this match here. Hopefully more than one. But seeing an STB on the side of Copium, I'm not sure if that is
a copious tank.
If that is bring them any positive success here. Okay, so double EBR for CSA, only 1 EBR again. That's a similar thing they did on Murovanka, and it didn't really work out for them. Weekendak in the STB 1, double 279 on the side of CSA, so a bit heavier lineup for CSA. Still the spotting advantage with a double EBR, and yeah, I don't really feel like the STB is a good selection here. It's not able to snipe on long distance, and if you really want to brawl there in this J9 area, just bring a Chieftain. I think that the Udis is even better than the STB there. But yeah, we will see what the teams have prepared.
Okay, so in the south, Seago and Teddy of King, both of them not seeing the other because they're taking the respective bush, but we aren't really in for a huge clash here as of now, because the entirety of the chieftains from the side of Copium does get sent towards the northwest. Meanwhile,
I'm not sure why Seago didn't fire there. Now he does one. Weekend not able to retaliate fire. I'm telling you, he was struggling with a hypodynamic suspension, not giving him the full gun depression there.
But the thing is, like, Weekendak also needs to run now as he's doing currently, and he does get set on fire.
Weekendak deserved for playing this.
Fucking STB, man. Why would you?
I mean,
Meanwhile,
I
though,
guess
the push
the
in full swing
approach.
in the north by CSA. Not CSA, sorry, by Copium. They are booking it, and this might be actually very good for Copium here, as CSA doesn't really have a lot of tanks to muster against this. Seago in a very passive spotting bush, didn't really see all of this early enough, I don't think, and now CSA is going to be like, oh crap, what do we do? They already have tanks driving towards the cap of Copium, but like, this is most likely going to become a cap race. No, Copium actually full on overpush here onto the tanks of CSA. Radim, the first one to bear the brunt of the damage together with Uran. Uran trying to make a hold down for his body now. That's a lot of Chieftains not really accomplishing much. Yes, Uran is down now, but Radim does have some wreck to hide behind. Silenets is now finally able to backstab him, and finally, that 279 falls, but double chief on the cap now. Seiko has not yet been found, but he will get compromised soon. But this push of chiefs, triple cap now for the side of CSA going on as well. So it will be down to who has the better reset shots.
Yeah, Seiko has to make it below into the water area there. He survives apparently on 440 HP. But keep in mind, the cap is running on both sides. There are only decaps possible for the side of the red team. Cabrefrac Libor will be crucial. He puts in one decap. Remember, CSA is on the defending side. If this is a draw, CSA will win the game. They picked up Seiko. They pushed down the 279. The 279 might be able to respot there again. The cap shot went wide, and I think that's it.
This is game, because CSA's cap actually went through, and yeah, Copium's cap wasn't even able to complete. So CSA is going to take the 3-0 victory here over Copium, who are now unfortunately out of this clan showdown. So I guess congratulations to CSA that are going to be confirmed upper bracket as well.
I mean, CSA should be sitting on 7 points now, so they will be waiting for the result of the raid game.
Raid against Goodnight Mini. However, that one is actually 1-1 all even. And
Actually,
Goodnight Mini here securing the first point on the board, which does mean that raid is gonna be second. Like, they are not gonna be first for sure. I will have to take a look at the group to actually find out how that one's gonna pan out. So CSA is gonna have 7. Goodnight Mini. Ooh, if Goodnight Mini wins this match, then
they're in front of raid, right?
yes, and it doesn't even matter if it's in tiebreaker or not, because it's direct comparison.
Yeah.
Uy. So
yeah, so that will be crucial here. And good stuff from CSA, I guess. They're confirmed first in their group, and that also means that you dodge Invil.
Exactly, at least for the for the first match in the upper bracket. Probably not for the second one, considering the performance they've shown so far. So yeah, that is crazy. CSA confirmed first in their group. What year is it?
Yeah, I mean, like, sounds 17, 18 maybe?
So I guess if Raid wants to still start in the upper bracket, even though they would start against Invil, they need to win 2 rounds in a row now. Goodnight Mini, if they win one more, then they are Gucci, and Raid immediately starts in the lower bracket. That would be quite an upset, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, imagine we will see Raid in the lower bracket, or even just playing against Invil in the first round. I don't think that they are really keen on meeting the 2-time defending champions directly in the first.
1993, 1994, violence, speed, momentum.
Exactly.
Doc CD.
Yeah, so 30 seconds until this game starts, and as you can see, it's a Fisherman's Bay game. Interesting to see a 268 version 4. I think the stream is having fun with the flipped tanks on Prokhorovka right now.
No, we are already in the 1v4 situation. Oh, Chef Big Raid, nice host.
Oh, and a follow. And what a day. What a day to be alive. Okay, Gnomi versus Raid. I see a lot of 279s on both sides, but let's focus on the other vehicles. 2 Chieftains for Goodnight Gnomi versus 3 Chieftains for Raid. Both teams coming in with a 1-1B. Old Kings had some really good performances in that earlier already. Previous tournaments. Hannes with an EBR, Miko with an EBR, Justek in the version 4, and a CS for Twist.
Okay, so naturally, a lot of 279s are going to go towards the middle area here. I like the pick of the 1-1B by Minaros. PS63, where is he going currently? He's going towards City together with the 2684. And also a lot of tanks here for the side of.
Yeah, I mean, no info so
Raid.
far. No info for the team of Goodnight Nomi. They are obviously defending, which gives you somewhat of an advantage. Now Hannes was spotted together with a couple of the Chieftains and 279s. Aggressive stuff. We've seen that before in the city already. That is Jordan moving forward there and trying to get to this rock position here on the outside. Very strong position because you not only are able to get the higher ground, but also angle up. On top of that, plus Twist can help you.
If you don't get pushed into the water by enemies.
I mean, the Quickie Baby spot is B0 key. That's not this one.
No. There was a different streamer that had maybe an incident where some supercog tracked him and then pushed him in the water.
So Jordan actually not being bullied so far, puts in 1 into Kaliamangel, and so far this defense looks pretty good.
Yeah, solid defense. I mean, yeah, they did take a shot on Jordan, they did take a shot on Pabu, but
I'm just
overall...
thinking, was Gnomi the team that in the last tournament pushed up a tank onto the B90 rock position there?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was them, right? They lost that game, but they had a tank pushed up here onto onto that. Yeah, so right down 2k HP. That's partially as well because of all those 279s.
What is the equipment loadout, by the way, by Jordan? Does he have like purple turbo or some shenanigan that he gets there?
No, I think he. Yeah, okay. So he has purple
and
turbo
even removed
and
speed governor.
speed governor. So, I mean,
Oh, he does get a nice shot into Kalium
that's
as well.
actually the second shot into Kalium already. So you can see he has this elevated ground. Maybe we can highlight the position for potential other teams as well. So he gets his gun down, immediately drives backwards a bit, and yeah, it's
So annoying.
barely possible to at all shoot him there. And now
I mean,
you
he
can
even
see
has a bush in front of him.
I mean, I think Smiley is close enough to just spot him through those arcades here, if he wants to. But it looks like Smiley decides that this is not the way to win this game. 2.5k
Ooh,
HP
he almost
down.
took one by the 2684, by the way. Justek, I think, bounced his space armor with heat.
I mean, all calculated by Smiley. Oh, actually, not too calculated. Takes another one by Jordan. Jordan trying to get the MVP for this round here. Definitely strong performance so far. And with all that happening, nearly 3k advantage now for the defending team. And we'll have to see if that game might be pushed towards a tiebreaker. Interesting to say is actually that for those two teams, they're right now basically fighting for first and fourth is over. They're only fighting for third and second place, right? So
Yes.
you have the advantage of either playing in the upper bracket but having to face Invil, or immediately taking the fast way to the lower bracket and waiting for the opponent of the other upper bracket game. So yeah, I mean CSA has to really be happy about Goodnight Nomi's performance here. After 2 rounds were secured by Goodnight Nomi, obviously Raid could only get up to 2 points for this match. So CSA confirmed first place. And
Well, first of all, Raid needs to win this game here to stand a chance of even becoming second, because, like, as it stands right now, Goodnight Nomi is winning. Goodnight Nomi is defending, first of all. So they need to make something happen, and that's why we see some activity by the 279s in the middle. They are starting to move here. All the 279s by Goodnight Nomi currently turned towards that western side where there's one chieftain, namely Ricochet, approaching. And yeah, Aetox, Destroyer now pushed up here. Obviously, Jackifar, Magic, and Panuka cannot commit
we are
in against that many.
preparing for a push on the 8 line now. The
Mhm.
268 version 4 obviously used as the battering ramp there. Driving in towards Ali, Albert, Smiley, and Kalyamal. Also, Jordan now left his position, joining that push. And together with that, obviously, they take the attention of Ali and his buddies. There's a wraparound around the 6-7 line, trying to dodge the Chieftain on B1. And we'll have to see if that is enough, because right now, Nomi lost a lot of HP. They lost their 3k HP lead as well. And so far, no kills done on either side.
Yeah, White Rock now in the middle falls here, and Justek does get the second kill on the board here for the side of Goodnight Nomi, who are also up in HP as it stands currently. Hanna is trying to find the 1-2-1B, but is not successful as of now, so Minaro's happily shooting into the sides of the Raid 279s that are trying to keep the remaining forces of Goodnight Nomi in the middle down, and the overpush in the city is actually finding a lot of success. Also shots flying there from the middle in towards this as the unspeakable name once again bites the dust. Albert falls in turn, and Jiki gets picked up by Old Kings in his own 1-2-1B here. Smiley in the back lines here, able to pick up Sokol, and Kalium Mangala falling to Jordan, but Zuza and Jordan will now both be over pushing Smiley, and the 1-2-1B can do little, if anything, to prevent that. Yes, he can DPM, but Zuza is still so healthy, and this is why the 279s by Raid are now trying to force the issue in the middle of the map. All of them, including Chieftains even, are being pulled to deal with the remaining forces of Goodnight Nomi, and indeed they seem to be successful as of now. Marcel, Carol, both of them taking heavy fire. Actually, Marcel also now biting the dust. Another one shot getting cleared up, and Manio now the only one remaining for the team of Goodnight Nomi in the middle, but they have won everywhere else, it seems, as Hannes drops down to Twist. That's a crucial kill in the north. And indeed, it seems like Raid will be taking their remaining heavy tanks here in from the middle to try and clean up the north, where it's only Twists and Minairos that are furiously trying to defend their life. They will be trying to clean up that northern pocket, and they will be trying to suppress whatever forces Goodnight Nomi has in the south here that are encroaching onto the 1-2-1B. Twists now in a 1v3 situation here, tries to get one more shot, does connect onto Ricochet, and Minairos now left with another 1v3 to fight for him here. Does drop down to a one-shot. So I think, Phil, we're going to have maximum content today. This one's also going to tiebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason that I really see that the team in blue was approaching here this push and was forced to be aggressive as the defending team was basically here. This positions Hannes and the Chieftain. They were controlling this area, and with Destroyer and the 279s trying to flank around here, they kind of pushed away this part of the map and try to ensure that there are better angles for Raid. Maybe that was their idea of pushing Nomi and forcing them to push forward. But we'll have to see who is the team that will be allowed to defend in the tiebreaker. If I remember, the map for that should be Himmelsdorf, so I guess defense and attack isn't that much of an issue there.
All right.
Old Kings, again, I was mentioning it before, good 1-to-1 performances in previous tournaments. Here again, top of the damage chart. Same for Jackifar and Panuka as well. Ricochet picking up 4 kills. And Yeah, Jordan, we mentioned it. He started strong. He ended up on 4k damage, but it was just not enough to pull his team over the finish line.
So I guess with that, we go to a very quick break, after which we'll show you what will certainly be the last game of the day, where we're gonna find out, well, basically who will get relegated down to the lower bracket immediately, and who will get relegated down to the lower bracket after their first match against Invil in the tournament next week.
Yep, exactly. So, see you in a moment.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Clan Showdown June Qualifier 2. It is the last game of the day. It is going to be the tiebreaker in between a Goodnight Nomi and Raid. Two teams fighting for the second spot in their group. CSA already confirmed first, and it actually is about something here. Do you go to upper bracket or do you go to lower bracket immediately? It's going to take place on Himmelsdorf, and let's take a look at the lineups, Phil. We do have coming out for Goodnight Nomi 1E4 triple 50B 160 DP, a tank we haven't seen so far today, rest Chieftains. And for the side of Tilt, we do have a double CS for you, quintuple 279E, and that's going to be 8 Chieftains to finish it off.
I mean, the 60 TP, a bit of a new touch here by the Polish team. Triple
3010 HP on the 60 TP, by the way.
Yeah.
Holy!
Triple.
Oh no! Take a look at the 60 TP, like his consumables and which spots they are. Pain.
Oh. Yeah, let's just not comment on it. Like,
Okay.
we'll just pretend that it didn't happen. Raid actually losing a couple of shots of HP immediately. Ali dropping to 1.8k HP, as well as Albert taking one shot for his troubles. Link trying to provide a bit more information here, but as we see Manfred being pushed up here, and it looks like they are trying to aggressively approach the hill. We'll have to see if the triple 50B can retaliate onto that aggressive move. Manfred is now spotted. They decide to still push in. Now they're stopping, trying to retreat. Magical trying to provide another tank to cover Ricochet, and that looks like a big brawl here.
Oh, indeed, the brawl has started on the outside here. Camilo now driving in completely, trying to enable his 50Bs to not die here, but Miko is gonna bite the dust, and they're actually trying to stop the enemies from pushing around, because from the backlines, double 279, one Chieftain and the CS are coming. This is just free-for-all on the hill currently. The HP are dropping for both teams, but so far not really a vast difference in between either. It's just about the guns here, and the guns are favoring Raid currently, as they have already taken out 4 tanks out of the picture, 2 of them, 3 of them even. All of the 50Bs for Goodnight Nomi gone here. Manio trying to get off the hill, Pabu not even able to do that, but triple cap has started. The question remaining there, are they able to punish Albert, who's in the corner of the cap, who's probably safe here? He is able to deliver reset after reset. He is down to a one-shot now, though. The 60 TP getting tagged heavily. Jekifar should be able to come to the cap in time. Albert still alive. How does the man do it? The man, the legend, the myth. He bounces another shot, another 2. He's staying alive. Those are crucial moments. And yes, the cap indeed will not go through, because finally Destroyer with the CS is able to deliver a decap. But yeah, Albert falling is not going to matter anymore, as Raid are going to secure their upper bracket spot for the tournament next weekend. But heck, that was a close one with the cap.
Yeah, I mean, Albert there is surviving. He was even able to pick up the kill onto the 60 TP before biting the grass, and very good stuff here coordination-wise, and also like coming back in time, not leaving too many tanks for the cleanup on the hill, and Raid convincing Himmelsdorf round after a bit of a shaky start, dropping 2 rounds there and going down 1-2.
Indeed, Raid able to pick up the pace here. They're going to be meeting Invil in the upper bracket. Game 1 or 2, not sure yet, on the next weekend. But yeah, congratulations to Raid after a shaky start in this match to actually be able to pick it back up, secure their place. And I think, Phil, before we end the stream, it's time to take one final look at how the groups are looking now, what we can expect next weekend at 4 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday, respectively.
Yeah, so first of all, obviously important, this will be streamed on the official World of Tanks channel. Good stuff here by Minairos. I mean, he's losing this match, but still, shoutouts to him, 8 penetrating shots. Panuka here, 12, very good stuff. Magic as well, good damage. And yeah, as you were mentioning, we can now take a look at the groups. Everything should be entered.
The raid against Goodnight Nomi hasn't updated quite yet, but yeah, raid is basically going to end up on 6 points, just one shy of CSA 7. Goodnight Nomi are going to get one more here, so they are going to be in 3rd spot, spawning in the lower bracket next weekend. And Copium, they got a point. I think that's a personal W for them. They didn't really expect to qualify in the first place, and then they went through in the first qualifier. So kudos to them. Hopefully we see more from them in the future. And looking at Group 2, we have an undisputed winner of that one. Holovnitsi going through with a clear 9 points here. No doubt as to who established dominance. Then in 2nd spot comes the Tilt Bunticore team. They are going to be meeting CSA for the first match in the upper bracket. Coming in 3rd place, a flippin' awesome performance, if I may say so myself, from Pure Aboba. 2 points, enough to be able to get one spot ahead of Tens, I guess, who did a copious performance.
I mean,
so
basically
yeah,
the only points that those teams gathered
were against each other.
Were their points against each other. They lost 3-0 to everyone else.
So I guess we could say both of them in this group played in a different league.
Yeah, not in a positive way.
I didn't add any evaluation to it, but yeah, I think that's it for us, or rather from us for today. We hope you enjoyed the stream. We hope you had fun. We wish you all a pleasant remainder of the Sunday evening. Don't forget to tune in next weekend on the official stream, where we'll also have drops with a camo that has never been given out before, I think. So yeah, don't miss that. See you next weekend. Have a wonderful evening.